What do you think of that weird GTA video I found for you?
Which one?
The one that we
I've seen
looked at. The one that
lot
we
of
looked
weird
at with
ones.
the girl reviewing it, with the alien comes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
it was an interesting video, that was for sure.
yeah. So this one, I'm not gonna like. This whole thing is just like it's a long video. Don't want to necessarily look at the whole thing, but I just
Uh-huh.
want to take a minute to take a second to look at this video and then look at the channel because it's like next level weird.
Okay. Let's go.
What are we even doing here? We're learning how to eat sardines. Who's this video for? This is for somebody that's right on the edge, that maybe has a can in their cupboard, or they've been thinking about adding some fish to their diet, but they're a little squeamish about it, or maybe they had a bad experience with sardines in the past, you know, or maybe you're just the type of person that doesn't want to try anything for the first time until they've watched a YouTube tutorial video about it. Doesn't matter. We're just going to get right into it. We're going to make all the weird stuff go away. Right? Right? Right. So what have I got here?
He's weird though. That's my thing.
Can
He's the weirdest part here.
Yeah. He is very strange. I can't tell if it's a character or not.
Bro,
I feel like everything on YouTube is a character.
I don't know. Look at the view count on this shit. Wait until he eats a fish, though. Let's wait. No, not yet. Don't spoil it. Wait until he eats a fish.
King Oscar sardines in extra virgin olive oil. These are bristling sardines, which it means that they're kind of like little fish that are caught way up north. The only thing that matters is that these are pretty good, and you can get them like anywhere. Like I see them every place. King Oscar, they're the brand. You know, you can spend a lot more than King Oscar, but you don't want to spend too much less, right? You get what I'm saying? Okay. One thing to notice about sardines is they got a long shelf life. Like I don't have any plans for 2026 yet, right? Yeah. And sardines are pretty healthy. They got no preservatives, you know? They're like preserved by the action of having been canned. All this has got is sardines and olive oil. And like some salt. Yeah, that's it.
He's selling you on these sardines?
A little bit.
Oh, I thought this was just gonna fly like away and out of the frame. Okay. So
he's very
like they all open this way. Old timey ones opened a different way, but they've got a little tab, and you open them up.
Gross.
And look, they're all just sitting here waiting for you. Now, let's just think about it. And by the way, I got chopsticks here to eat them with. Forks work great.
That is the correct way to hold the fork. The most sensible way, the most common way.
I use chopsticks because if you're pretty good at using chopsticks, I think they're great for handling sardines, and plus they stay out of the way of the shot.
Honestly, he's not wrong.
Let's play with the sardines here. Let's not play with them too much though. This one just comes out. He's on his own, and you see, like, I don't know. It's weird because it's a whole fish, right? Like this is kind of like what the fish looked like in life, but he's a really good, nice guy to eat, and he doesn't have his head or anything like that. And he's delicious. Absolutely delicious. And you see, we got this olive oil. It's really tasty. And nothing weird happened, you know? Okay, let's have another one. This one's still got a little tail in. Okay, sure. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Inside of these guys, there's some bones.
Okay.
If I took them apart, or if one of these happens to fall.
Huh?
Let's look at that view count for this video. And look at the name of the channel. What's the name of the channel, Jack?
Canned fish files. What the fuck? It has 300
Like,
views.
is he bought by Big Sardine? Like, how many views did that video have?
300,000.
Over, like, literally over 250,000 views,
This is insane.
right? But if you keep going down, there's like content before he was a fish channel, I think, you know? Like, look at oldest. Go to oldest. What is oldest? Right?
Eating McNuggets in a view.
How many views this got?
It has 3,000
Fuck
views.
off, bro. But like, clearly, I think that might have been the first video in the sardine saga, but I think this sardine video just took off for him, and then he became, you know what? I'm just a sardine channel now. Like, that's what I think happened.
A genius ahead of this time. This is great.
Like, when does the sardine content start? See, like, what's he doing there? That has a whole format.
Subway poetry.
See, this dude is definitely an artist. And you saw all the weird nerd
Mm.
shit he had in the background, the analog equipment.
Subway poetry. Okay. Sardines. 3 years ago. Here we go. Episode 4. Here we go. Where's episode 1? What the fuck, man?
Maybe it's
Aha! Number 1.
Oh boy, I've been waiting so long to do this video. Sardines are one of my favorite snacks. I like to eat.
he has a Patreon. Of course, he has a Patreon. He gets
That
that video had over 250,000 views. Of course, he has a Patreon. Like, this is like, I'm telling you, like, I find shit on YouTube. You see, like, I go through the depths. Like that GTA review that we opened with last stream was insane.
Yeah.
That whole channel was insane.
It really was. Very quiet.
So good. I got 4 different brands and 5 varieties. I got all ones that are in olive oil. And I'm going to try them out here from the cheapest to the most expensive. So without further ado,
Does he like? Does he get like? He eats these. This is like the origin story. He like eats these, and like they change his life, right? Because he thought this was just gonna be a funny video. Like, is this his first time eating sardines?
Children of Blood and Bone. Those books are weird. The background is weird. There's a
Jack, it's a
poster with
video
chicken.
about a guy eating canned fish. And again, you know, everything is weird. This video, though, that I just sent, I also wanted to look at this one. You're going to love this shit. This is great.
First one we're going to try out today is the Great King brand of sardines, an extra virgin olive oil. Okay. These are $1.99 a box.
Sorry.
Weren't on sale or anything. I don't think any of these are on sale. These are just the prices that they are. Open them up. These ones are kind of, I'm going to call this medium-sized.
Gross.
Soaking in this olive oil.
Actually disgusting.
Pretty good. Yeah, see that? Fish one out here.
He's using a fork. He hasn't even figured out his technique yet.
These ones are a little mushy.
You kind of expect that from your cheaper brands.
He already knows what sardines are. Okay, it's not
The,
the origin story.
Olive oil. I don't know how you call it. It's
The music in the background too. It's
Yeah.
like
it's not that.
That's what I've been
not that
focusing
it's like
on.
something that
It's a little
like it
thin.
sounds like something that would be in like sometime. Anyway, click the video I just sent. This is another important video you have to see. You're gonna love this shit.
When I was a kid, I asked my parents, would you buy me Grand Theft Auto? And they said no. They didn't think a child should be hanging out at strip joints and murdering unarmed civilians. Well, not until they turn 11 anyway. So I decided to become a plumber, launch a YouTube channel, and start making some bloody memories. And look at the drain here we got today, guys. It's an absolute ripper. All right, guys, let's get the grate off this drain, and we'll have a little sticky beak, see what's going on. And let's just unblock this drain and have a little bit of fun.
This is just normal.
It's an absolute rip.
Yeah, this is just normal. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, this pressure gun will more than pull the skin off a rice pudding, mate, and we'll just bang it down the drain and see if it's an easy blockage. I'd have more hope unblocking this drain with a fish finger than this pressure gun, so let's just get the jet out, guys. Well, if the YouTube algorithm has brought you here, this is my favourite nozzle. It's me Mr. German turbo nozzle. Mr. German, well, because he's from Germany, I mean, it's a bloody basic name, isn't it? But his name's Mr. German, and I'm going to send him downstream of this gully to chase the blockage. Let's fire the jet up, guys. Now, send this jet down as far as possible. And, guys, we're actually working at a lunch bar here, so the requirements for a lunch bar or all commercial kitchens is that all the floor drains and all the basins through kitchens have to run through a grease trap. So all the food scraps and all the oils and, you know, whatever else goes down through a commercial kitchen has to go through a grease trap. So, and if you are new to the world of drainage and you're going, what on earth is a bloody grease trap? A grease trap is basically what separates all the food scraps and all the oils from going into the main sewer. And once every 4 to 6 weeks, a pump truck will come along and pump all the old rotten food scraps and take them away. I mean, don't ask me where that truck takes all the rotten food scraps and oils. I mean, can you imagine being the truck driver driving that along and you're like, you know, I'm hungry. I might pop through a McDonald's drive-through and you're cruising through Macca's, you're waiting in the drive-through and you're just stinking the drive-through out, mate. You know, you can imagine having that on board, bloody getting your bag of Macca's and continuing on. I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad job. It sounds like a little bit of fun. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's bloody crack on and unblock this drain, guys. But I mean, as I'm rambling, like, Mr. German is really fighting against something here. You know, using the jet is like fishing. And you can really feel like, you know, you can feel when you got a shark on the end. And I don't know if we've got
surprisingly
a shark,
engaging.
we might have some sort of blowfish, but there's something down there, guys, that's just, it's being bloody stubborn. I was just thinking there is no better time than right now to pull Mr. Plungy out and have a quick go. Let's see what we can come up with. Come on, mate. Let's go. Man, this will be a real embarrassment for Mr. German if Mr. Plungy comes along and just bloody just saves the day. What have we got here? Have we got some movement? No. Let's continue on. Come on, you good thing. Go. Come on. Come on.
This is very satisfying.
A bloody horse, mate. But no, we are just trying to get through this blockage. Have we got movement now? I think we've got slight movement.
Does this guy have a Patreon?
Good thing. Let's go. Come on.
He has 70,000 subscribers.
Oh!
How many
This
views?
video has 700,000 views. That's awesome.
Well, as you can see, it's been raining cats and frogs here.
The
in Perth,
YouTube
Western
channel you never
Australia.
know you needed. It's so funny because his graphic is like so shit, but you know, it's like
Mm.
it's all him, you know?
Mm-hmm. The YouTube
He
channel
does
you
great
never
titles
knew you
too. Like,
needed.
see how good his titles are? He like does random capitals and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's good algorithm bait.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's good.
I
It's
could
a good
watch this
channel.
guy paint walls.
All right, I guess let's get on to
All right, let's look at some
the real
serious
stuff.
stuff. That's not when I say serious, it's definitely in quotes here.
Uh-huh.
The first one up top.
Fish.
Yeah, how about Congress basically just going on vacation, not approving anything for Ukraine?
Yeah, that's very cool. Very, very cool. It's just fiddle at this point.
Well, hello. Oh my God, legs all for days.
thank
Look at
you,
you. Let
thank
me just
you.
say hi to you.
Tonight, one jokester and a national joke sit across from each other in a bombshell interview.
My first question for you is why?
Why what?
How would you interview someone without shame?
What is this channel?
Are rich people stupid? What could we do to get you to go away?
That's sure to be explosive.
Can we speak somewhere like
What is
off
this?
real
What
quick?
have you sent me?
Yeah. George Santos did an interview,
Is this
a hard-hitting
hot?
interview.
Yeah, we're all hot. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Can we be
Is that actually him?
Yeah.
The fuck?
mindful with the DOJ stuff?
What do you mean by mindful? Let's assume for a second that you did actually do those crimes.
The fraudster answers the questions on everyone's mind.
What is empathy if you think you have it?
I couldn't define it.
How could anyone platform the disgraced,
Could you dab?
allegedly racist,
It's like I don't see color. I grew
You
up.
don't see color.
Whoa,
allegedly
whoa,
transphobic,
whoa.
allegedly far-right nutjob,
Vida chica, no piensas.
Are you threatening me?
No.
congressman?
You can't.
The Ziwe News Network starts now.
Bro,
You've been accused of lying to the American people.
there's a
I'm,
big bag of
I'm
money
so
behind him.
confused.
There's a big purse with money behind him. What set decoration, bro?
I'm
What do you mean you're so confused?
so confused. This guy feels like a parody.
No, that's George Santos, man.
This is
There's-
insane. No, this can't be real. This
That's
is like
George
a Borat
Santos.
character, right?
No.
There's no fucking way. I'm convinced he's not real. There's no way.
He's
He's
literally
a
a
fucking
con artist.
caricature.
He's literally a con artist, bro.
He's a fucking caricature. This is insane.
How long do you think it will be before you get called to be on Dancing with the Stars?
I'll pass.
So you won't be calling Sean Spicer for advice.
Yeah, Sean Spicer. That I don't want to be Sean Spicer. Let's just call it that.
He's reading already. You've compared yourself to Rosa Parks, saying if she didn't sit in the back of the bus, you shouldn't have to either, meaning you didn't want to sit in the back of Congress. How else are you like our beloved civil rights leaders?
Rosa Parks, believe it or not, is one of my favorite political figures.
Why wouldn't I believe that?
I had a portrait of her in my office. I think that speaks for itself.
How else are you like Rosa Parks?
I used an analogy. I'm not like Rosa Parks. Come on. I could never measure. Let's just put it that way.
Can I list civil rights icons and you tell me what they mean to you? Marsha P. Johnson.
Very respectful, honorable person. Keep going.
Respectful and honorable about what?
On all the stances and all the work.
Marsha P. Johnson?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Just keep going. Next.
You don't know her.
Yeah, I do.
She's-
Keep going.
Do you?
I do. Go. Just keep going.
James Baldwin.
Huh?
James Baldwin.
Who the hell is James Baldwin?
Oh, come on, bro.
Who's James Baldwin?
Harvey Milk.
I have no clue who that is.
Okay. What about Bowen Yang doing an impression of you on SNL?
I think he deserves an EGOT.
Would you like Bowen Yang to play you in the HBO biopic?
That movie's not ever going to happen.
Why not?
The book has no perspective of me or anybody close to me. It's a fiction.
You love fiction, though. Nicki Minaj.
Queen.
Are you a Nicki fan?
Yeah.
Prove it.
I'm not spitting verses for you.
Pull up in the monster automobile.
Gangsta with a bad bitch that came from Sri Lanka.
He's not real. This is a Borat character.
Okay, move on.
You're bossing me?
Yes, yes, queen.
Can you say that to your camera?
Yes, queen, move on.
Can you also
This
say
is
that
not
you're
real.
an icon?
I know, you're the icon.
No, you're the icon.
you're
I've
No,
never heard him speak
you
before.
icon.
This is
You're
insane.
Icon.
Icon girl. Girl boss.
What do you say icon again?
Icon.
You con.
Coming up,
We can move on.
This-
Move on. Move on. We would move on.
This feels like a Borat skit.
You are the only congressman to be expelled without a conviction. Is it safe to say you didn't come to the Capitol to make friends?
I wasn't there to play nice. I was there to expose the rot and corruption, and I did. And I'm going to continue to do it. Republicans and Democrats alike. Swampy, slimy people selling this country down a river.
I would say that you are a messy bitch that lives for drama. True or false?
You can call me a messy bitch. I'll take it. Can you make a pin and mail it to me?
I'll send
wear
you.
it.
I'll send you.
I will wear your messy bitch pin any day.
I will send you a gift as long as you declare it on your taxes.
I definitely. I like paying taxes.
Who else in Congress is committing fraud?
They're all frauds.
Name them.
If you were to put me,
Name them.
if you were to put them all
Name
under
'em.
the same scrutiny I was put under, you'd
Name
fucking
'em.
vacate the whole goddamn building.
Can I name them and you just wink if
Go
I?
ahead.
Marjorie Taylor Greene,
No.
Kevin McCarthy,
Yes.
Lindsey Graham,
Yes.
Matt Gaetz,
No.
What was
Bob
the question?
Menendez,
Absolutely. Gold Bar Menendez.
Dan.
If they're
What was the
corrupt,
question?
if they're corrupt, I think.
You'd
Name
fucking
'em.
vacate the whole goddamn. Put them all
Name
under
'em.
the. If you were to,
Who else in Congress is committing fraud?
they're all frauds.
Name
If you,
them.
if you were the.
Name them and you just wink if
Go
I.
ahead.
Marjorie Taylor Greene,
No.
Kevin McCarthy,
Yes.
Lindsey Graham,
Yes.
Matt Gaetz,
No.
Bob Menendez,
Absolutely. Gold Bar Menendez.
Dan Goldman.
He doesn't pay his rent. Dan is owing $180,000 worth of rent right now on his $45,000 monthly rent, which is what most Americans make a year. You let that shit sink
The
in.
way you know everyone's business is humbling to me.
coming up.
How many black friends do you have?
He's a bullshit
Funny.
artist.
Seriously, I had too many to count.
Too many to count.
Yeah. It's like I don't see color. I grew
You
up.
don't see color.
I grew up.
We saw
in
this already.
peace.
Oh my god.
You were seen walking around
It's a
the
second
Capitol
sting,
with a baby in your
John.
arms.
It's needed.
Yes.
Look at this baby, Mr. Speaker. Congressman Santos, what are you doing to stop the ongoing genocide of
Excuse me.
Palestinians?
Do not record this baby.
When asked if it was yours,
This
you
guy
said,
is not real.
yet."
As in a reference to, I'm not a parent. I'm not there yet. Not that specific baby.
So whose baby
This
was
is
It
a
it?
was a
character.
staffer's baby.
But you were running around.
A movie will come out in a year.
No,
and-
no, no. They are making a movie about him right now. He was.
No,
just
I'm saying that a movie will come out in a year by him saying, "Hey, this is a character. Haha, I'm like
Sacha
Borat,
Baron
but
Cohen is
better."
going to come out at any time right now.
No, new person. Never seen them before. This is brand new. Fucking fooled everybody. This is not real. I have no evidence, but this is not real.
on with their baby. You were
No.
using the baby as a prop.
No, I was taking the baby to introduce him to another member of Congress.
When you do decide to have a child, would you rather have a gay son, thought daughter, or pathological liar?
I will have a child and I will accept my kid in any way, shape, or form they come. And the best I can do is teach my child to be better than me.
Love that. And do you plan to adopt black?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. Especially because I can probably make a black baby on my own, granted my dad, and my entire dad's family, because I'm biracial.
Got it. So when you say you could make a black baby on your own.
Oh, I mean, essentially, physically, like not physically, but if I were to use my sperm.
To impregnate a woman.
Yeah, I could, that's a high possibility, so. And I'd love it.
This is not real.
Will you be running for office again?
Not now, but in the future, I'm not ruling it out.
Wow. As a Republican.
As of now, yes.
Okay. As of now.
I'm losing my fucking mind. This is not real.
But there could be a day where you pivot.
To an independent.
To an independent.
Because I think the country needs more independent thinkers now.
Like Jill Stein.
No. That's a Russian asset, according to Hillary Clinton.
True.
And I believe Hillary on that one.
And oh wow.
Oh wow. It's true though.
No one.
Do you plan to run as a Democrat? Because you've been really embraced by like the Gen Z.
I love the Gen Z.
Progressives.
Gen Z loves Trump.
Define love.
I love the Gen Z. No, I love the blacks. No, I love the gays. That was such a political statement. That was gross. I'm so convinced that this isn't real.
Love Trump. He's an icon. Gen Z loves Trump.
Could you say icon again?
Icon.
Do you know why I love the Gen Z progressives?
Please.
I'll tell you why. Because they're the future, and they need to slay the boots house down in the future so that this country can stay functional.
What does slay the boots house down mean?
Conquer everything. Like
that's what that means.
Like
That's not what
yeah,
that means.
it's like you just got to be awesome at everything you do, and they have to do that. They need to be awesome.
Okay.
Everything is awesome.
You've connected yourself to multiple historic tragedies, including the Pulse nightclub shooting. You said your mom died in 9/11.
I did not say my mom died in 9/11.
You said that your grandparents survived the Holocaust.
I said my grandparents fled the Holocaust.
Do you think it's appropriate for politicians to use terror for their own professional gain?
That's what politicians do.
So yes.
No, I'm not saying yes. I'm just saying, just look at all these politicians. They're hacks. They're not doing anything other than lying.
What aboutism?
Politicians,
we know all about this
on Capitol Hill. They're lying to you.
But I'm looking at a politician, and
I'm
your
not a
mouth is
politician.
moving.
I'm not a politician.
And I feel like you're lying to me.
I'm not a politician. Never was.
What
never
are
will
you?
be.
What's?
I was an elected public servant for 11 months. Proud of it. Never caved to the establishment of politics.
You were in government, but you're not a politician.
No, I hate politicking. Nancy Pelosi had a big hand in the riots in January.
We're not
6th.
talking about Nancy Pelosi.
That's a Hunter Biden thing, not me. Bush is a warmonger, and I don't like warmongers. And I believe Hillary on that one.
Feels like you're politicking right now.
Nope.
Do you support a ceasefire, or are you afraid of losing your Hollywood representation?
Excuse me?
Do you support a ceasefire?
I hate war.
Wow.
Yeah.
You love peace.
Peace is the way to go.
Do you support a ceasefire?
No.
You don't?
No. We
Okay.
don't negotiate with terrorists. War against terror should never be undermined, period. Hamas is a terrorist organization.
How would you bring peace to the Middle East?
Very simple. Eradicating terror cells like Hamas, ISIS, Al Qaeda. I mean, there's so many to name a few.
No, please name them all.
No. But the point is if we go after all the terrorist organizations and cells, we will bring peace to the Middle East and the world.
But
fact.
via
Last
war.
20 years definitely showed that.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a good cause.
Coming up.
You're writing a book.
Yes.
And what is the name of the book so we can promote the book?
It's an under development. We're doing a market study on it.
A market study development book. And the George Santos story.
Yeah.
Who in Congress could you beat in a lip sync battle?
All of them.
What song would you do?
I will survive. It's cliche. Why not?
If you're performing this song in Congress, who would you be? Katara Ravashay? Would you be Anthony DeVolder? Would you be George Santos? Like what?
George Santos. I need nothing other than just plain old George Santos.
Okay. Can we confirm Katara Ravashay was your drag personality at one
For
point?
a day.
For a day.
For a day when I was 18 years old. Look, if I was a career drag queen then, like everybody likes to claim, then I must be a myth of a drag queen now because I wear far more makeup today than I did in that picture.
Not you dragging yourself.
It's true, but it's true. I'll drag
He
myself
should have
when it's
turned up to
appropriate.
working as a
When else
drag
is it
queen. That
appropriate to
would have
drag
been
yourself?
hilarious.
Are you alt-right for clout, or do you actually believe that drag queens are a greater threat to children than guns?
I love drag queens. Let's set the record straight. I don't like drag queens for kids.
You said that they were worse for children than guns.
I still think drag queens are not for kids.
No one is saying that they are for children.
Then why are there drag time story hours?
Oh my goodness gracious. We're not going to get anywhere with that.
Coming up,
Can we? This is like a running joke, the coming up thing. I don't
It
know.
might
I've never
be.
seen this person's content before. I'm just here for Santos.
Yeah,
You're disassociating.
I'm sorry?
it must be. Maybe they have drop-off points, and every time they have a drop-off point, they channel in a coming next to keep people hooked. Seems like a lot of effort.
Picture a criminal. What are they wearing in your head?
A blue suit and a white shirt.
Oh.
Hmm.
Tell me about your sartorial charts today. What are you wearing?
This is an actual Teo from Macy's. It's a black-owned company.
Oh, wow.
And I love his suits. Ferragamo shoes.
Ferragamo shoe
Yes,
shop.
I'm known for that.
And are you wearing a black-owned designer because of the circumstances of today?
No, actually, if you go through my entire congressional outfits, a lot of them are from the same designer.
And how many stolen credit cards did you use to pay for this look? Ferragamo, Hermes. You like the nice stuff too.
I don't actually own Hermes stuff.
Oh,
Other than the cologne, that's all I wear from Hermes.
got it.
Oh no, and the bracelet.
You're literally wearing an Hermes bracelet. How'd you buy that one?
This was a gift from my husband.
A gift from
Yeah.
your husband.
Yeah.
The American people? Is it a metaphor?
No, my husband.
What's his name?
Matt.
What's his last name?
Not telling you.
You could have just said Santos and that would have been less suspicious than Matt, no name. You've said that you've had Botox, lip filler, Ozempic. What is a complete list of cosmetic procedures you've had?
I did go under.
Why is there a
fancy
bag of
reasons,
cash? I
and-
pointed this out. That she put it there. It's great set design. And it's a purse of cash.
Subsequently lost 100 pounds. Botox, yeah, since I'm 25. Fillers, since I'm 25. I will never deny it.
How do you pay for it?
I've always worked Ziwe. So yeah,
Yeah,
my own money.
yeah, your own money.
Yeah, well, my own money.
Yeah,
Like everything else I own, my own money.
your own money. Restylane or Sculptra?
Juvederm, XL.
NARS or MAC?
Neither. Estee Lauder. Got to keep the Republican donors happy.
Would you rather shoplift from Sephora or Ulta?
Neither. I don't do petty crimes.
White collar. House of Representatives or House of Gucci?
You know what? House of Representatives.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Slayed the Boots house down, House of Representatives every day.
Well, not every day since last Friday.
Oh, whatever. Tomato, tomato. Who cares?
Well, a lot of, I would say your peers care. Like,
Well, I care, but they did what they wanted to do. So I'll be back.
you'll be back.
Yeah, I'm 35. They're all in their 50s. I'll outlive them. Each and last one of them.
This is so
Wouldn't it
menacing.
be funny if he
I
died
feel
before
threatened and
all
I'm
of
not
them?
even in the House of Rep.
I don't know what district he was, but it was Long Island that elected him.
Mm.
So I don't know if Long Island is all one district, but that's where he got elected from.
What advice do you have for young, diverse people with personality disorders considering a career in politics?
You're cute. You're really cute.
That was weird.
She's so cute.
In the words of Lady Gaga, you live for the applause. Are you like Tinkerbell? If we stopped clapping, would you disappear?
No,
You wouldn't.
no.
What could we do to get you to go away?
Stop inviting me to your gigs.
So no Dancing with the Stars,
No.
no RuPaul's Drag Race.
haven't got that invite yet. I'd love to go read a.
The lesson is to stop inviting you places.
But you can't, because people want the content.
Could you please define the word empathy?
You know what's great about that? Empathy to me is probably, I don't understand it because people accuse me of having no empathy. And I maybe I can't define empathy.
You don't have empathy?
I think I do. I believe I do.
What is empathy if you think you have it?
I couldn't define
This is
it.
great.
But I believe I'm empathetic to causes, to people, to situations.
What excites you most about going to prison?
That's a below the belt.
Do you like the color orange?
Really?
You tell me. I don't know
I
enough
love
about
how
you.
dead
Judge,
and
jury,
she
and
is.
executioner.
She's
I can
right.
never be. I'm just asking questions.
Those
All
seem
I
pretty
know is
pointed.
I would never point the finger at
Oh,
you.
God.
I would never point the finger at you.
Yeah, I believe you.
You're an icon.
Icon.
And that's the show. George Santos, everyone.
This is great. What
I want to grab my bag.
What's your back? Is this your book?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hold
Wait,
it.
do you have a pen?
Yes, please. I do
Wait, let's
want
sit
to.
down and sign this book for George.
Did you really bring your Birkin? Is that a Birkin or a Kelly? That's Kelly. Yeah,
Come on, you know.
just be nice.
You're an icon.
Icon.
Where's the signature?
Why? Do you need it?
I don't know. I might need it later. I'm kidding.
Here. Someone write Z.
An interesting format. Music videos. Interesting. This is weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the only one like that.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that was strange. That was
It says
anomalous.
150 videos.
150? There's not 150 videos.
Mm-hmm. Probably shorts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's probably why it was edited like that, you know? Because they plan on cutting it all into like segments and shorts and stuff for Gen Z and uploading it to TikTok.
This guy is LARPing as a British. Why don't you fucking deport your bitch ass to England? There is no world in which you can deport a dual national.
Look, he's
that
got
was
food in
born
his
the
fucking
United
mouth.
States.
This is how you're gonna open the video, bro. Who are this guy's editors, man? That's wild. Why would you? Why? That's the sting you would choose for your Hasan video?
Mouthful of food.
That's wild, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
American dude saying you should be deported because of your criticism of the U.S. Like, at least this is like fun.
Could be
But if
louder.
there's an entire video dedicated to like deporting me.
Could
that'd
be.
fire. I would like to watch that.
Hasan Piker should unironically be deported. Oh, but he's American! Yeah, and Shamima Begum was British. Was. I'm not
Do you know
joking.
who that
This
is?
isn't
Hang on.
theoretical. We
Hang on.
already have
Pause,
a working...
Pause. Do you know who that is?
Isn't she the ISIS bride that they
Correct.
denied
Good job,
citizenship?
Jack. That is who she is.
Because there are a few Australian ones that they just let back in. Just think, yeah, well, okay.
Well, like, if you talk to this girl, she's literally like George Santos style fake.
Interesting.
Like, she said that she didn't regret what happened, and then like she got denied citizenship, and then she suddenly was like, "Yeah, I totally regret it. I'm changed."
Yeah.
Like,
Wonder
she
why.
just seems like this brainless, naive girl who just didn't care what was going on, and
Yeah. Got swept up.
no, she's like disconnected from reality. It's very weird.
Interesting. They broke her.
Yeah. Well, no, I think she's like always been just like this spoiled, careless child.
Hmm.
And she is a child. I don't
yeah,
think she should
maybe.
be in the fucking Al-Hol camp. I think everyone who has foreign citizens that are in these detainment camps need to take their citizens back and give them a fair trial.
Yeah.
And the UN won't do shit about it, even though we keep trying to get them to.
Yeah. Yeah, UN. More useful uses for the UN.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing.
Framework on how to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
British accent. Opinion discarded, my friend. Is this guy even British?
Finally,
Or is
a
he
good take
trying
from
to
Hasan.
Is he trying to LARP as British and he's American? Bro, how about you fucking keep holding the goddamn revolutionary L, okay? How about you fucking how about you sit around?
I'm not even sure if this
worry
guy's
about your
shit is real. The
13
way he
colonies.
talks.
Also, red flag for ad hominems instead of actually addressing his points. So red card.
Lead that you blew, okay? I do think this is funny. Who gives a shit?
How to deal with third pillarism in Western countries. Let us use it now. I mean, really, the only
Third pillarism? Isn't it fifth pillar? Or not fifth pillar, fifth column. I think he's like mixing and matching the 5 pillars of Islam, and the proper term would be the fifth column. I think
What's
that's what
the
he
fifth
meant.
column?
The term.
crime Shamima committed was
Is what?
It's term. The fifth column is any group of people who undermine a larger group or nation from within, usually in favor of an enemy group or another nation.
Oh, interesting. So, paid shills. Cool.
to marry someone in an anti-Western terrorist organization. She didn't spend years of her life spreading the Diet Coke version of their propaganda. So it is wild to me that one of them lost their passport.
It is a fake accent. There's no way that's real.
While the other is chilling in Hollywood. Pretty strange, because Shamima never...
Wait, is he saying I married the lady Shamima or something? What? This guy's American. He's just trying to make his voice deeper. There's something about his voice that immediately it's like nails to a chalkboard. Like, I think he is trying to fake an accent to come across smarter. He's like he seems like a very Reddit person. What is this? You've seen this guy before?
Son Packer tells you the solution to homelessness is to simply build more houses. Keep in mind, he doesn't mean houses like
Is that
these
the same guy?
or these. Basic progressive bitches and midwit socialists are never actually talking about meaningful, tangible steps one can take to increase housing stock in a country. They're not
Look
going
at
to
him
pull
putting
back
his fingers in
environmental
his mouth.
regulations. Not at all.
Hasan, he's putting his fingers in his mouth.
When it comes to housing, there are three
He's not
factors,
talking.
and you can only ever, in
Yeah,
the best
hey,
case
your
scenario,
fingers shouldn't
have
be in your mouth in general.
There is universality, there is affordability.
I'm beginning to understand why I remember this. I remember this video. I'm beginning to understand why like how someone can be so angry that they want to I can't say what I want to say, but you get what I mean, right? Like I can't say what I want to say because it would be a terms of service violation. Oh, this made me feel violent.
Solution
It's very, very frustrating. It's the cadence at his rhythm. It's accidentally iambic pentameter, but it's accenting the wrong note. I don't even know what you're saying. It's just like
to increase housing stock in a country. They're not going to pull back environmental regulations. Not at all, sweetie. When it comes to housing, there are three factors, and you can only ever, in the best case scenario, have two of them. There is universality,
really weird
there is
accent.
affordability, and there is quality. So when Hasan says build more houses, you're going to get universality, and you're going to get affordability. That's right. In order for homeless people not to make Hasan sad, you're going to live here. You're going to live here, and you're going to eat crickets, and you're going to watch the world like an
the World Economic Forum live stream, famously a socialist institution.
Economic Forum live stream 24/7, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
It's just like he makes me
Weird.
more homophobic than I already was. You know what I mean?
People have rights, but they also have wrongs, and I want people to start acknowledging that. Living in an urban area should not feel like a JRPG, where the second you leave your house, you're likely to have an unwanted encounter. If I want to do something as rudimentary as going to the store, there's one guarding the path. There's one by the cash machine. There's one.
I guess edgier version of it. You know what
Huh?
I mean? He's just like,
I
oh
just
yeah.
thought-
So,
I just thought, hey, let's get to the part where he gets some deported.
I'm
The
waiting.
son's just really mad at this guy for some reason, I guess. When did he call for his deportation?
to him like that.
Went on camera and said that America deserved 9/11. Shamima stans aren't going onto TikTok to praise Osama bin Laden's manifesto, while at the same time quoting the aforementioned statement that America deserved 9/11.
That last like 3 minutes was a side tangent.
I know.
In the exact same tone and inflection as their
He's like, oh, I'm so scared. Please. This is the equivalent of like when a fucking boomer on TikTok will at the FBI under something you've said. You know what I mean? He's just doing that, but a longer, I guess, edgier version of it. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh yeah,
It's pretty much that.
Yeah, he should be deported because it scares me. Free speech scares me.
favorite streamer. No, Shamima stans didn't do that, but Hasan Piker fans did. It's so bizarre to me, so queer, because for years I've been hearing from leftoids that words can lead to violence. Well, Hasan Piker's words are leading...
Is he saying my fans are gonna do 9/11 too? This guy's awesome. Hasan is an uneducated lefty Turk and should be sent back to Mongolia. This guy gets it. Praising Osama is less criminal than praising America, in my opinion. Ooh, good take. I've been giggling to your videos for a while, but I have a hard time trusting people, but it appears like you're chill like that. Followed. Dude, there are so many sad Redditors who are just like, who wish that they could just be as like relentlessly racist as their shitty ass older, now 48 years
Does this
old,
mean
divorced
people are
dad
taking the World
brothers
Economic
were-
Forum to investigate Israel's crimes? Is that what this means?
I don't know, but that's pretty funny.
In the heyday of the internet, like there are so many neoliberals who are just like the fucking the aneurysm when you can't say it meme, basically, when they're just like, I wish I could just say the slurs I want to say, but I can't because I'm in polite company. And they have to just like dance around the subject matter endlessly. Just say it, dog. Be like, oh, Hasan is a goat fucker or something. Okay, like many
said
people
it.
still do. Like, what do you think is the first time I've heard someone
You
someone
should
should
get that as
deport
a,
me,
sound
that I'm a supporter of terrorism who deserves deportation? You think that's the first? You think a fucking prominent leftist political commentator who's been around for 10 fucking
That's so funny. I'm actually not surprised that the cricket has that. That's really funny.
years is the first time I've heard such scary takes? You know what I mean? Oh no. Oh, I should be deported. Like, oh, thanks, man. I got it. Very original comment. Like, the only difference is instead of being a 48-year-old divorced dad HVAC guy who's like white knuckling through life, okay, and is spending his time writing angry shit online instead of like shooting up his place of work.
Okay, Hasan.
Bin Laden's manifesto.
Jesus,
That's the
fucking
why
Christ.
you should be deported. It's like, okay, dude.
Every time we watch a Hasan video,
Mm-hmm.
the more I hear him talk, the more I question people who watch him. It's just awful. But it's not just him. All streamers are like this. Especially the Twitch streamers. I don't know what it is. It's just some kind of brain rot.
Dude, got it. Nice, man. Thank you.
His fans to Osama bin Laden's manifesto.
Yeah, even Milo had more pizzazz. You know what I mean? This dude is like, he's a shittier Milo. He's like less flair. At least Milo would wear like a
How do you turn a minute video into 8 minutes of edited footage?
This is why he makes the big bucks, bro.
vest.
He's a
You know what I
content
mean?
generation
And then a
machine.
fursuit on top of his like
Insane.
vest, and would run around acting like
Subscribe
they're trying to fucking
to
kill
the
him. But he
channel
had,
that
like,
isn't even
he had some
Hasan.
level
The
of
fact that,
realism
like,
and a
people
real British
are
accent.
in a
I'm like,
he has his own economy, bro. Like
Mm.
people literally steal his shit to re-upload it, and he doesn't care.
It's fair enough.
So like, It's crazy, right?
At the end of the day, it'll bring him more people. So why does he care?
Like this guy.
And do you think the words in that manifesto may lead to violence? I don't know. I guess it's a counterfactual.
It's a counterfactual. You can't disprove a negative.
So I would deport Hasan Piker. I would. To me, it's a no-brainer. To me, it's the simplest decision ever made by anyone ever. And I say that completely unironically. He needs to go. He needs to go. Whenever I say this, I get pushback from people who don't know what they're talking about.
Does he even live in this country?
Yeah, he's in California.
No, this weird fake guy.
Ah, I have no idea. Could not care less.
About saying this is a free speech issue. No, it isn't. No one wants to deport him for having bad opinions. That is his right. A right he exercises quite freely. The issue is no one actually understands the nature of dual nationality. Dual nationality is defined by 3 R's. You have rights, you have responsibilities, but you also have risks. There are risks to being a dual national, as Shamima Begum.
No, Shamima Begum is in the UK, stupid. Also, this guy is LARPing as a British. Why don't you fucking deport your bitch ass to England? There is no world in which you can deport a dual national that was born in the United States. Shut the fuck up. That's why you have to use this fake ass British.
Begum in the UK found out. When you are a dual national and you commit seditious, disloyal behaviors towards the nation state you are currently in, that nation state has more than one option of how to deal with you. They can do more than send you to prison. They can send you away, period. I mean, let's do a quick hypothetical. Let's say I was half American, half Turkish, but I moved to Ankara and I started streaming. In my stream...
Oh, there it is. This is my favorite part. Oh, no.
I'm excited too.
The intellectual
I
argument.
want to hear what he has to say about Turkey.
Drivel that unironically reinforces the original argument you made. Oh, if you don't like it, why don't you leave to a country where you will actually be fucking arrested for your take? Is so stupid. Classic, dude. Again, another thing I've never heard before. Oh, you don't like America? You want to criticize America? Oh, you're saying treasonous things about America? Well, how about saying that in Turkey? It's like, well, all you've done is that you want it to be like Turkey. You want America to be like Turkey.
I would just shit on Turkey nonstop. I would say that anything it did was bad. I would always oppose its foreign policy objectives. In fact, despite having a political science degree, the only ideological lens I would ever use was that if Turkey does it, it's bad. Turkey equals bad. Yet I would live there for some reason.
I mean, that's pretty much the correct opinion.
No, but it's that's what Hasan does. If America does it, it's bad.
I mean, yeah.
That's why I'm laughing.
I'm laughing because it's basically the correct opinion.
Yeah. No, that's true too. But it's just he's making fun of Hasan. He doesn't know shit about Turkey. He would love Turkey if he did.
Yeah.
Reason. Yet I would live there. Reality is, no sane nation state that wanted to survive would ever tolerate my presence. Not for a week.
Nah, Hasan does that, but the opposite with China. So everything that China does is great. He's China's biggest fan. He said so himself.
Not for a month, not for a minute. I would be gone. I don't care about Hasan's opinions. I care about his loyalty, or lack thereof. The opinions only serve as a signpost towards the obvious. The reality is, when any dual citizen displays profound disloyalty to one of their countries, there are unique consequences for doing so. My one and only ask is that those unique consequences simply be applied. Applied when relevant.
I love this guy. This guy's fucking hilarious. Hasan is an e-terrorist at this point. Hasan had to suck off his uncle for internet clout. True and real. True and base pill.
Well, okay, that second one was kind of true.
That's so funny.
He is a Nepo baby that got launched by the Young Turks into a career of whatever the fuck this is.
Well, they go downhill.
Yeah. So, kind of true.
Keep crying, everybody. Keep crying. Oh, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy to see these motherfuckers. Like, there is definitely a time and place where I want to, like there's a shelf life on what I have to do, right? What I'm doing. This kind of stuff keeps me going. It fuels me. When I see these motherfuckers who are like, why does he still have an audience? It's like, give me more. Give me more of that. Okay? Give me motherfucking more of that, dude. Oh,
See, the difference is I'm not saying why do you have an audience. I understand why you have an audience. I question the sanity of the people who genuinely watch this person. They are getting genuinely bad information from an objectively terrible person. So that's what I'm just curious about. How people
'Cause he's
can't
based.
see that.
Love it. Deport him. I don't like his opinions. Oh yeah, deport this guy because I don't agree with what they say. Truly the American way. But he's handsome though. 34 responses. He literally has bicep implants, you idiot. Would you say that to a pedo? But he's handsome though. So was Jeffrey Dahmer. Shamima Baker was too, bro. What? Without the
She's a
hijab, her
minor.
head would be chopped off by Hamas, who you seem to support. What does this do? This tweet from him? Hasan Parker spent 3 years stalking and sexually harassing Tommy Lauren, making dozens of videos about her. Now, if you call him dumb, his fans will say you are obsessed with him. Lol, Lamau, even. Yeah, there's a difference. Tommy Lauren made dog shit videos who I addressed as a
Pot, meat kettle. My man, my dude. Your videos are dog shit. I would rather watch a Tommy Loren video than a Hasan
That's a
video.
rough thing to say.
I would rather do it. It would be more tolerable.
So
political
who you voting
commentator.
for president though?
Chunk.
Yeah, I would also go Chunk.
If we're going for entertainment purposes, just like with Trump option, Santos. I would also vote Trump if there was if it was for entertainment values. However, I think the consequences are not worth the entertainment.
who I disagreed with. There's a difference between me addressing Tommy Lauren's takes, as I do with Ben Shapiro, versus making entire videos crying about fucking why I can't get deported from the United States of America. The difference is very obvious to someone who has more than a fucking fraction of a brain cell. Yeah, you're not going to believe what this says. I'm willing to bet I do believe it. From today, trips to A-Lot will no longer be the same. There will no longer be the stop at the Koshi Ramon's Inn to hear the stories of the infiltration and rescue from Petra and the heroics as a paratrooper fighter. What? What? Bro, that hit me in the fucking face. What? That's a mistranslation. Dude, that actually, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's a mis... What? And rescue from Petra and the heroics as a paratrooper fighter. What? What? Bro, that hit me in the fucking face. What? That's a mistranslation. Dude, always appreciate stupid. Like, it seems as though this guy is very deliberately...
Like, all the editors that steal these videos and repost them have to do is cut out every bit where he's not talking about the specific thing that he's supposed to be talking about, and then you might have a tolerable video. But every time you leave in these fucking retarded, dumb side tangents, it's awful. Awful.
Trying to make himself seem like the least likable person on the planet. And there are many people who fucking despise me out there who probably think I resemble a lot of the qualities that he is embodying to my interlocutors.
It was on the Israel tweet.
Oh,
it was the translation.
To the people who oppose my ideology. But I do always appreciate ingenuity, and unfortunately he has none of that. He's just going for the edge factor and trying to pull a Milo Yiannopoulos, but it's not working. You know what I mean? It's like not very good. And the stupidity actually is shown time and time again. Dude be like, I would be immediately deported for saying stuff like, yeah, dog, no shit. Yeah, reading Reddit posts verbatim, that kind of stuff is whatever.
Next.
I don't really care about.
Awful. Truly fucking awful.
If you thought that Hasan video was bad, just wait, bro. There's no way we don't skip through this.
We're not doing Yemen today. We had to reschedule. When are we rescheduling to?
Probably tomorrow.
Okay. There you go.
Welcome everybody to another.
Oh my god.
What's wrong?
Episode of Modern Day Debate. I'm your moderator
Okay.
tonight, Justin, and tonight's topic is communism versus capitalism. We got Infrared and JF here to discuss those topics.
Why are there two capitalists on the screen then?
And Infrared, I believe you're going first,
Lol.
so the floor is all yours.
Truly horseshoe theory.
Sure.
I only know who Haas is.
Yeah, I don't know who the other guy is.
So, I think that the era of capitalism that we call the capitalist mode of production is over. Capitalism is dead, and we find not any real capitalist economy in the world anymore. We rather find an institution which, on the basis of the principle of capitalism, engages in the rapacious plunder and destruction of nations and countries through debt, through purely financial capitalism that is only based in the institution called capitalism, but in reality, no one else gets to participate in any kind of quote-unquote capitalism besides being debtors and the recipients of their predatory financial behavior. See, today, there's no such thing as a free market. Sure, you can open up a business in which there's a large likelihood of failure. That's okay. That's all risk, right? But if your business will ever get so successful to the point that it will come
Who's he talking
close
about?
to even rivaling the monopolies that exist, doesn't matter, even if it's a restaurant business, you hit your head on a ceiling in which you have to conform to whatever the monopoly wants.
That's literally the goal. Like, most people start a business to get bought out. It's like half the goal. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's why monopolies work. If people said no, there'd be nothing that they could do.
You have to get bought out by the ESG rigged BlackRock and Vanguard and so on and so on. And
It's funny because this was before that article that just came out about BlackRock ESG. Right? Because this was filmed in the past. It's been being promoted to feeds for a while now.
That's so funny.
Look, bro, they have epic perks.
It's so funny the both sides do the same shit. It's just so funny. It's so entertaining.
the possibility that any kind of entrepreneurialism that leads to the maximization of human liberty or anything of that sort is completely impossible. Even libertarians today admit that we don't live in the so-called pure capitalism. And my only contention would be that there was never a pure capitalism. 100 years ago, you had people toiling in factories and on farms with no possibility whatsoever for any other kind of opportunity. And now in the era of the...
I mean, there was pure capitalism. It was just racial capitalism. It was white capitalism. So, I mean, the 50s was as pure as you're going to get and was only able to happen because of segregated society, really. Because it lifted up everybody in that racial group, I guess.
The rise of the middle class, the rise of your bureaucracy, we don't have capitalism anymore. So the dream of capitalism is over and the American dream is dead. And it's time to stop trying to revive the American dream in the silly individualist form where people think that they're going to be the ones to finally get rich and make it out.
So angry?
The truth is, some people might get rich out of chance, maybe Bitcoin, maybe something else, but it's not a solution to the problems we're facing. And the problems we're
Why is
facing
he so
are very
angry?
severe.
Yeah.
Because capitalism, bro.
Nothing's
It's
happened.
exploitive and I'm mad about it. I don't know,
He's so
bro.
mad. He's so mad. He's mad
He's
little
cringe.
Is he tiny? He looks like he's small.
I think he is tiny.
That makes sense.
We're no longer able to support our population. We don't have jobs in this country anymore. Our infrastructure is
That's a lie.
garbage. We're not even laying efficient use of the resources and natural wealth that we have here. The fourth industrial revolution is happening, and there's a big transition into a new era of technology. I love technology, but guess what? The majority of people are going to get left behind because not everyone can be a coder, as Hillary Clinton said. We need a common plan. We need to come together and take responsibility for our common fate and ensure that the transition into the new era
He's talking.
that our country is headed towards and the new era of technology.
What do you think of this, though?
What is this?
He's as tall as Destiny, so it says infrared confirmed 5'7" beta cuck on shoeless size comparison.
That's so funny.
And we have to do this. And this country is already acutely divided down the middle because people are too distracted to focus on who the real enemy is. And who's the real enemy? The enemy is the capitalist class. And by the capitalist class, I don't mean your ma and pa shops. I don't mean your small business owners and people who just happen to have some spare wealth. It's not a matter of wealth or how rich you are. It's a matter of how much power you have. And it's the banks.
Lost his mind about this because people said Destiny was taller, but he lost his mind saying it was tilted to make Destiny look taller. And now I'm seeing that there's a lot of memes about the tilt.
Oh, that's so funny. He was literally tilted.
Right? So it's like that. There's this picture right here. Hang on, that's worse. That one, not that one, not that one, not that one.
We're getting there. Oh, that's
Right.
funny.
That's crazy. Does he stop the tilt? Haas goes ballistic over Destiny height comparison. Haas out here actually debating Rambos on why the camera angle made him look smaller than Destiny. And then there's this.
It's the camera angle, bro.
See, and is this a research paper on the tilt? You ever hear him ask about if someone pees out of their butt?
What?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so
Jesus Christ.
basically this girl told them that girls have 4 holes.
Oh, that's so funny.
And he thinks that pee comes out of the vagina.
Mm-hmm.
And he's confused about it. And he goes, wait, do you pee out of your butt?
Are you showing me someone else that isn't real?
I want to hear what the other guy has to say.
It's the monopoly capitalists who control our economy. They control our country, and it's political dependent.
Oh my God, he's still talking.
But when it comes to things,
oh my God,
let me just adjust the screen so that we can see you while you do your opening debate now, because everything is all a mess when someone drops out like that. So 1 second.
Wait, somebody dropped out?
Howard.
Did he leave?
You notice they're using StreamYard?
Are they?
Yeah, because watch what happens when he drops out.
For later, when I will ask Howard.
See? So there's the producers in the background spot, I reckon, being blocked by something. And they've got four spots like that, and the producer has dropped out.
Oh, see, yeah, in the corner up there. So yeah, they're putting graphics over a StreamYard stream.
Yeah.
Debaters, those questions. We lost infrared.
Because that would be.
All right. Well, I can still start my intro if you want.
Oh my God!
Not the accent I thought that was gonna.
I knew it was gonna. I saw the back thing behind him. So.
Yeah, I hope he'll be listening.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be back, and I'm sure he will hear us in some
just
other
adjust-
form.
Let me just adjust the screen so that we can see you. Drops me. Work.
This wasn't live.
And minimize
It's recorded. They didn't cut this out.
That's so weird.
I minimized it once, and then it
Oh, yeah.
completely went black, so I had to leave and join again. Sorry about that. I'm not gonna.
Hitting like, subscribe.
Read quite is said, but there is I self agreeing with 99% of what is said, but there is a little trickery of magic that he does, which is a label, and he attributes to capitalism all of the ills that he lists. But what he lists are not ills of capitalism. They are ills that are representative of the fact that our society has become less and less capitalistic with time and has become more and more communistic, has left too much power to the state. And all of the ills that he lists, I agree, but they stem not from what he thinks. It is not the private capitalist parasitic class that true capitalistic mean is exploiting our work. What's happening is that they are, through the state, creating these monopolies, through the state keeping anyone from developing competition that makes sense, through the state harassing people and blocking them on individual rights and their rights to profit from their own business ventures, which keeps them small players and creates a parasitic class that accumulates wealth privately, but does so through the forced arm of the state.
So he's pro-tax the rich, I assume, whoever this guy is.
I guess so. That sounds
the
like
graphic is so bad. The way he wrote,
Yeah.
like you put white text on top of silver here.
Yeah, it should be like a black or outlined at least.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is outlined.
State.
Not enough.
And what we have to get rid of is this fact that 50% of our money goes to the government, that yes, it is mismanaged. And what infrared is demanding, we already have. The people are in control of this system. The people can vote in the system that we have attained. That
We were looking for it the whole time.
And it's more socialism, the more stuff it does. And if it does a real lot of stuff, it's communism.
Describes as sick is the system that people have constantly voted for. So the people is not to be trusted with power. To the contrary, we have to go back to a more basic form of capitalism where power is fully in the hand of private interest, simply because people are too stupid to guide a society. I wouldn't trust them with my children. I wouldn't trust them with my money, and you wouldn't probably. And so why would you trust them with the entire fate of society? Let me just list through everything that I agree with from infrared. The era of capitalism is over. Capitalism is dead. Yes, true. The debt, the fake systems that name itself capitalism but has no feature of it, absolutely true. It's a fake system we're in. It's not capitalism. Today, there is no such thing as a free market. Absolutely
never
correct.
Was, friend.
There was never a pure capitalism happening in the world. That is true. I agree. Capitalism is an ideal, and it's always implemented in a form that will have some weaknesses to it. It's time to stop trying to revive the American.
They both sound so fake, but at the end of the day, they're making the same argument. Except one is admitting the faults and the other denies them. That's it. That's the only difference.
Well, they're both pointing out the faults. Just one is saying that communism is what they're saying today. They're stupid. Both of them are. They both agree on being wrong. It's literally horseshoe theory, right? They're wrong on the same part of the spectrum, right?
So it's like, this guy is saying yes, the faults are there, but it's not capitalism. And that's
but Haas was saying we don't exist in capitalism.
I know. I'm saying that they say the same thing about communism. It's the no true Scotsman fallacy. It's the same fucking argument that they're making. It's exactly the same. They're exactly the same.
But Haas doesn't. Haas will defend Stalin and all that shit.
And admit the
no. He thinks that was good.
What a piece of shit. Awesome. Fantastic. So he's just an extra piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's like, he thinks girls pee out of their butt, so.
Dream in the silly individualist form. I agree. Capitalism is not about individualism. Capitalism is a system under which I want big families to rise. I want groups to feel that they're together. I want groups to be able to freely associate between one another and not be kept from associating in groups and against other groups. Infrared says the real enemy is the capitalist class. The people that he's talking about are not per-capitalist. The people that he's talking about are people who play the triangle of power between the state, the Fed, and the private sector. And they do it well. They do it well for themselves. This is a parasitic class that, yes, we must find a solution to in our world, but those are not capitalists. Those are authoritarian statists. They wouldn't be able to pull what they're pulling without the state. They wouldn't be able to pull what they're pulling without the Fed. And so we must diagnose the problem properly, because if we don't, we will make the system worse through the very same mean that it became that bad.
It's so silly.
And that mean is the
It's
power
so
to
silly.
the people.
Because like the only people who have ever kept capitalism in check are like trust busting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only time.
Oh, here we go. Correction on the pedo thing. I can't wait.
Democracy, which has been going on forever in the US and has led to the current situation. Infrared says his problem is not with the small business owners, it's the people with power, banks, monopoly capitalists, politicians. I agree. He says American farmlands should belong to Americans. American mines should belong to Americans and should contribute to the wealth of the American people.
Yeah,
I
this
agree,
is
but how
MAGA
do we get there?
communism, right?
How do we make sure
It's
This
that
is
the
why he
product-
wants. This is why he wants. This is why he supports Trump.
He's a Nazbol, please.
I know.
Let's not give their stupid
He's
fucking term any
Larouchian.
weight. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So rape.
of American innovation in all its forms
So
ends up
the French
paying
guy, right? What is this? Giuseppe? What is this name?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Giuseppe. Okay.
Interesting.
to the people who produce this innovation.
I mean, if you look
ends
at
up
them.
increasing.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna skip forward because this is insanely intense.
Oh, we're not going to really watch much of this.
Their well to find a good leader once. What's the mechanism?
Leader in check. It's not the.
I think this is the only time I would prefer to hear Haas talk.
It's also like you need to get a real good Haas video. You need him losing his shit and arguing.
Yeah.
This is too like
Leader.
moderated. One person talk,
Mhm.
the other person talk.
Every single leader has a mystical, even relationship with the mood of the entire country. And to that extent, a good leader cannot be simply selected. There's no council of experts that's going to be able to permanently select what the good leader is going to be. And it's enough that a leader is good, by the way. Not every leader has to be great. In my opinion, Mao was a great leader, right? Deng was a pretty good leader, right? But the ones that came after, Hu Jintao, Jiang Zemin, and so on, those were, I would say, good leaders. They weren't extraordinary, but they kept the stability of the country going. And then comes along Xi Jinping, who is a great leader. And how did Xi Jinping come along? Because he correctly articulated the spiritual mood and direction of his country. He was a populist in that regard. But I concede to you, you will not always have a great,
awesome
leader. They wouldn't be called great if every single leader was great. But
He
there's
tried
no way to
impregnate
select
an autistic woman, but is a eugenicist.
No, I think he's talking about Haas now.
Oh. Anyway, the reason why he doesn't
no,
comb his hair
maybe
is because he
maybe
doesn't
not.
want you to know that he is losing his hair, right? So he spikes it up to make it like, see, I do have hair, right? It's an illusion.
Sorry, I think he is talking about the French guy. He's going through his wiki.
For it beforehand. There's no way to ensure that a system is going to guarantee your leader is going to be good. It's the responsibility of a population to keep their leader in check. It's not the responsibility of a group of experts. It's ultimately always going to be the responsibility of the people. And as a matter of fact, I do agree to an extent that we, the people, are responsible for the power system we have in this country. Only I don't think it's in the form of democracy. I think it's in the form of our indifference. The fact that we just watch Sunday night football every week and ignore the goings of the world, and we don't even care or take responsibility for what's going on in our country. And we're basically
It's not every week. There's an off season.
Yeah.
living in a bubble, completely isolated from the reality surrounding us, like frogs being boiled slowly in water. I agree, we are responsible for this situation, but the moment we really feel and awaken to how much power we, the people, actually have, I don't think you can erase that. It's difficult to. Even when the Soviet Union was dissolved, there was riots on the street. They brought tanks down because people, even then, at that point in the existence of the Soviet state, could not reverse the sense of responsibility they had for it, that it was their state and they didn't want to let it dissolve or get collapsed. And what do you know? Putin comes to power a decade later because here's what I believe. The
commits a
people always
genocide.
win.
Very cool.
The people are
Very
always
cool. I'm fucking over this. Let's watch the Seaman Warriors.
I don't know who sent me this, but somebody was like, bro, you gotta show this to Chad.
That's what I love about even though it's the thing everybody knows about, going to the Parthenon and going to that neighborhood where it's like you go over those cobblestones, you're like, some fucking guy, some like 4'8" Athenian who's fucking just going up these steps, fucking fetching water, just having a shitty day, annoyed at his fucking girlfriend, you know what I mean?
Leather sandals on.
Yeah, leather sandals on. He's running late to his tutoring session / getting molested appointment. Some children are like, oh, I better get these fucking formulas right, or he is gonna have his way with me this time.
Yeah, not only was pedophilia okay, but it was openly discussed.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
they had boy lovers.
Yep, you were made fun of if you continued to get fucked in the ass past adolescence.
Really?
Yeah. They were.
Oh,
like,
you silly boy!
Yeah, it's like, what are you? You're being a fucking little kid.
What are you being, a homo?
Yeah, you're being childish, getting fucked in the ass.
Is that true,
dude? I swear.
Is that documented?
Now it's documented. I read it somewhere 8 years ago, maybe, and
Good
I've been
enough.
repeating
Let's
it.
repeat it. Let's repeat
I
it
might have told
everywhere.
it to you the last time I was on.
That is so insane.
Even if it's not true, it's a
But,
funny
if you
joke.
Go back and read in history, like Socrates.
Oh,
and
yeah.
How many of these guys had boy lovers?
Probably all of them. Probably
God.
it's fucked up.
What year do people realize that's terrible?
I don't, like 20 years ago.
It's probably about 20 years ago. Dude.
No, it's fucked up. And you would read in your sociology books where it's like, there's places where that's fucking, where they're like, we can't, these primitive people that we make contact with, or like these people that don't have technology. It's like half of them are still doing that.
Oh yeah.
It's
well, there's
fucking
New
wild.
Guinea. Do you know about the Seaman Warriors of New Guinea? I take it by your laughs that you do not.
What a fucking epithet. The Seaman Warriors.
There's a tribe in Papua New Guinea that when a child becomes 6 or 7, they take them away from their mother and they bring them to an older man who becomes their anal father.
Their anal father.
There's no way this is true.
And they believe that the only way for a boy to grow strong is that he has to ingest semen in his asshole and in his mouth.
No,
yeah. So these kids are just sucking.
There's
cock and
no
getting
way
butt
that's
fucked
true.
From 6, 7 on.
That's fucked
Yeah,
up,
and it's a literal tribal tradition.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Look at my boy. Look how he puts down that cock. You think there's like proud fathers with a tear coming down his eye?
I don't think they get to watch. I don't know what happens with the dads. I guess the dads, I guess everybody's just used to it.
Yeah.
Bloodletting ceremony involves beating the boys with long sticks on their nostrils until they bleed. That way, the woman's tingu is completely gotten rid of. Once this is done, he's made to perform oral sex on the older ones, which they do not stop until they take in the semen. Ingesting the semen will make them stronger. More so, they are kept aside for 3
Insane.
years and maintain a strict diet to make them stronger. Defiance against this from the boys usually involves death.
They've bred straightness out of their tribe.
Jesus Christ, they fucking killed them if they don't want to get their mouth fucked.
Dude, how bad would this be if the guy
That's
you're
wild.
fucking your mouth can't get hard? You know what I mean? You're like, all right. He's like, all right, can you give me a second here? I gotta just the guy's just jacking off. All right, give me a sec. Hey, can you pinch my nipples?
Go back to my mommy. I want to go back to my mommy.
Sorry. You better hope you get a real pedophile.
I can't believe that that's
I bet
real.
they're all real.
That's so insane.
It's a very
Fucking hell.
secluded place, man.
Yeah. Let's do
Calling from a 2-0.
Cedar.
Oh my god. I hope this makes you lose your mind.
2 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going? I'm Mark, and I'm calling from Arizona.
Mark from Arizona. What's on your mind, Mark?
That's like Arizona.
So I've actually been listening to your guys' show for a while. And one of my buddies got me to you. With that said, though, we have vehement disagreements on one particular thing, and pretty much what I vote on, and that would be guns.
Okay.
Listen to how he says it.
So with that said, I do not think we should ban AR-15s or any assault rifle for that matter.
True.
Okay. Why would that be?
Well, I mean, because I just don't think statistics show that that's necessarily that big of a deal, even though
True.
it is like,
What do you mean by
you know,
statistics?
It's true.
Well, so for instance, I think Johns Hopkins University did a study about mass shootings and the type of firearms that are used in it.
Yeah.
And
pistols.
And it said that the AR-15 style platform didn't really wasn't really the basis for, you know,
most mass
gun
shootings
being used. Yeah.
So like, all right, so how many, let's put it this way. How many kids being shot in a school, and then let's just add people shot, let's say in a mall or like at a concert.
Sure.
How many of those is worth it for you to have the right to have a semi-automatic weapon?
Well, I really don't like.
This is why I don't like.
Yeah, because it's like
1, debates, 2, arguments about this subject.
it's like,
always
do you know how many
comes down to
countries where
emotion.
semi-automatic weapons are legal?
A lot.
And why is the U.S. the only one with this problem?
No. That's the question that needs to be asked. As soon as you introduce an emotional aspect to the argument, the emotional aspect takes over, and then it becomes an emotional shit-flinging contest, and you get nowhere, which is what I imagine that this 16 minutes of phone call is going to be, is just an emotional shit-flinging contest that doesn't actually get anywhere or discuss the actual issues or go into the fact that the news media is one of the biggest proponents of it, that gun control doesn't actually do anything, that the AR platform, as he was saying, is rarely, if ever, used for most mass shootings, only really the ones that get on the news, which is why it's continually the one that gets on the news, because it's the one that generates clicks. AR-15 used in mass shooting again is a pretty attractive headline.
Well, also
Just
like it fixed the mimetic profile.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like
Yeah.
AR-15s were around for like, so for example, like Columbine, right? The weapons that were used there, like it took a while until it was just always AR-15, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many ones where they used like an Uzi but it's
Yeah.
like the because that can be concealed, right?
Mhm.
So like Columbine, they use sawed-off shotguns. Like imagine doing a mass shooting with a sawed-off shotgun. That's weird, right?
Yeah, they used I think it was a Tech 9, right?
Yeah, well they yep. They
A
had a
Tech
Tech 9
9.
as well. But
You just take the emotional, you just take the emotion out of it. You stop talking about the victims themselves, and you talk about the why. It's not about the who at that point. Okay, we understand people have died. We get it. There needs to be a solution, and banning guns doesn't do it. It just doesn't. If it's not one way, it'll be another. People who are dead set on committing crimes against society are going to commit crimes against society, whether it's driving a truck through a crowd, planting a bomb at a marathon, or shooting up a school. It's the same thing. But the other thing is, you don't see mass murder talked about like you see mass shootings talked about, even though statistically and literally they're the same thing. So if we really want to discuss this topic, we really need to boil down this emotional. We need to take it's the same as journalism. To do effective journalism, you take the adjectives out of it. You don't add emotion, therefore you give no opinion. It's the same thing. It's the same idea.
And then do you remember the sniper? He was a serial killer. They were like, do you remember that?
I don't think so. Are you pressing it as well?
Yeah, I waited and then I also hit it again. So the sniper is this serial killer.
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting case. So it's really weird. So like this older guy basically is like a cult leader to this younger
Mhm.
guy, and like I think they were like fucking as well. And like this is like
Okay.
an underage person, I think. But see, they
Mm.
have like a hole in the back here of the car, right?
Interesting.
So he would lay down prone in the back of the car and shoot at the
Hmm.
back. But like the guy is like an ex-marine, and like he indoctrinated this kid, and like the first person, see they shoot him across like the thing,
Yeah.
like got someone here. But he indoctrinated this kid, and one of the first things they do is they kill his like his ex-wife or something. He has the
Okay.
kid kill his ex-wife. And they find like my uncle, they thought it would be like a white pickup truck, right? Because they were shooting people who would be getting gas and shit, you know? Like they would be
Okay.
pumping gas and then they'd shoot them. And like technically the platform they were using is like that AR platform, right?
Mm. It would have been an AR-10, bigger caliber, 30 caliber.
But like it's like it says here Bushmaster XM15 rifle.
Oh, was it 15? Okay, so it
Mhm.
must have been a 223.
And
It must
like
have just been a longer barrel
so
version.
Columbine has a really big cultural impact, right?
Mhm.
But like it
Well,
took
that's when the mimetic thing really started.
well, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that with the AR-15, it really started where school shootings and the reaction, because obviously you're murdering kids, you know?
Mm.
So the reaction to school shootings that kept on happening and happening, right? And then suddenly it became more of like a general terrorism thing,
Mm.
where they just go into nightclubs and kill people. Like that wasn't like that's a weird thing that's hasn't been
Yeah.
around very long. So even when the gun control debate was happening before, it was before like the AR-15 was popular,
Mhm.
right? It was the same debate then, and then suddenly the
Yeah.
AR-15 is like popular now.
And even with the assault weapons ban, and in Australia with the 96 shooting, which was done with an AR-15, by the way, it didn't. And the other thing, and we spoke about this on our A Better Way to A episode, where I brought up the statistics. Shootings in Australia, all gun deaths, military style assault weapons, which is what they classified them as. They were less than 2% of all shooting deaths, with hunting rifles being over 80%. Where in America, it's handguns are over the
Mhm.
80% mark.
Yeah, and
So
that's why I say, like, if I don't take anyone serious about when they wanna have a conversation of gun control,
Mm.
if the first thing they're not talking about is handguns and
Yeah.
suicides and domestic violence, then they're not
Mm.
actually talking about the issues, they're talking about the emotional response,
Yeah.
which is from mass shootings, right?
Yeah.
So, I think the amount of women killed by their husbands or estranged lovers by firearms, is insane. Like, there was this
Mm.
streamer, the ex-boyfriend came and shot her in the legs with a shotgun. He shot through the door and it hit her legs, right? And there's, like, a
Crazy.
video of it, right? I forgot what
That's
streamer
nuts.
it was, though, but this literally
Mm.
just happened. Like, an estranged lover came for this girl.
Crazy. But that's a domestic violence issue, and the only
Exactly.
thing that can really stop that is a domestic violence
Well, the
registry
thing
that
is that
would
when you have these red
come up
flag
on a
laws, they don't
background
work
check.
anyway.
No, it's
There
just
so
something.
there
It's
needs
not
to
a
be
red flag.
enforcement
It's
as
not a red
well.
flag thing. It would come up in a background check.
Yeah, but I'm saying is that they do those flag laws on these people who
Mm.
shouldn't have them because they're, like, high risk, and they don't stop it.
Oh, like if they have them already.
Mhm. Like
Right.
Colorado, for example. Colorado
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit about this stuff. There's certain red states that are just so pro-gun that they don't care about stopping gun
Mm.
crime,
Yeah.
And I think part of this, like, whole, like, diehard for guns thing has helped contribute to domestic violence crimes, basically
Mhm.
just
It makes it
being able
easier,
to
that's for sure.
it's like Russia where it's
Mm.
they enable
Yeah.
domestic violence.
And this is where compromise needs to come into it, and this is an argument that because like domestic violence in Australia is high, like it's like the gun thing is in America. It's just guns instead of strangling them to death or beating them to death or cutting them up or whatever the fuck might happen, right?
Here's the thing though, the just like with the suicide stat with white
Mm.
men, right? It's
Easier to
men are
pull the
more
trigger.
likely to kill themselves because they use a shotgun.
Yes.
Women take pills, right? So when
Yeah,
it
yeah.
comes to domestic violence, you're less likely to survive if the person has a gun.
Yeah,
Right?
but you're probably also less likely to do it if you don't have access to something that's so detached as well. You know what I mean? So and
Yeah.
that's where I'm kind of like the compromise has to come in where it has to be clearly explained and defined that there's a defined amount of time that gun is confiscated, that you will get it back, provided that there is nothing turns up in the investigation that would be like you're at a risk of hurting somebody or
Well,
something
it's like
like
a
that.
lot of restraining orders aren't permanent.
Well, okay. So that's another thing. If you've got a restraining order out on you, you probably shouldn't be allowed to have
That's
guns.
what I was gonna say, is like that would
Mm.
be like if something like that, you can tie it to restraining orders.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
also
Oh,
that guy
right, like a
that's
temporary restraining order.
the streamer who shot the streamer whose girlfriend got shot through the door, by the way, like they are recording a video where you can hear stuff in the background and like
Mm.
the police shoot the guy and kill him.
Hmm.
So
Yes, I hope that answers that question for you. It's really not that difficult to have a matter of fact conversation about this. It's just people are so obsessed with bringing out emotion into the conversation because at the end of the day, nobody cares. They're just trying to get their brownie points for this big tragedy that happened, and everybody wants to get their sympathies out on social media because it's a cloud-driven society, right?
yeah,
That's
so
all it is.
one of the big mass shootings of like my lifetime, Virginia Tech, right?
Mm.
I remember it was in church group and they were talking about how somebody tried to charge him and stop him, and like they got shot in the throat and their face turned blue and stuff.
Mhm.
So, do you know what guns this person used? He killed 33 people, including himself.
It was handguns, right?
Two
Handguns
handguns,
and a
correct.
shotgun?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's just two handguns.
Oh,
Walter
it's just
pistol,
two
Glock
handguns.
19
Okay.
pistol.
Yeah. It's literally only recently that AR-15s have become more common, but still not that common. Anyway, let's continue to watch this emotional thing.
Like that line of argument because
It
you could
makes
say
what
that
you're
about guns.
saying sound like it's psychotic.
Well, no. Well, so if we're gonna go based off of that, so if you're principled on that, wouldn't you say the same thing for alcohol that kills 5,000 adolescents every year?
I would say that banning
I'm fine with banning alcohol.
was
I don't give a shit.
attempted in
Fuck
this
them.
country and it failed.
Yes, it was.
And that alcohol.
And banning guns in your country won't work either, you dickhead.
Yeah, right. He came to
Like
his own conclusion.
how do you go from prohibition doesn't work to but this prohibition works? It just doesn't. It doesn't. Like no country that has implemented widespread gun control has successfully curbed crime because of gun control. They often bring it in after the fact, after crime starts dropping, then try and claim the credit for it, and then that's how they justify sucking more tax money into the police.
Like our assault weapon ban that we used to have. It was already declining.
Mm-hmm. It was the same in all global north countries. It was the same everywhere. It was from pretty much the mid 80s, violence was decreasing. Almost universally. So, yeah, you can say all these governments did something to curb crime, but I think people were just becoming more connected to each other. I think that the invent of TV and movies and the popularity of it and music and all this sort of shit is the reason that violent crime was going down. Had nothing to do with how many guns were on the street. There are more guns in every single country than ever before. And violent crime is lower pretty much than ever before in most global north countries.
So check out this article by Time, right? It says how the AR-15 rifle became the America's most dangerous weapon, right? So this is the opening. This is the opening right here. The Allen Mall shooting on May 6th was the 199th mass shooting of 2003, marking the most recent incident in which a gunman chose to use an AR-15 style rifle during the tragic event. Like, why? First of all, there wasn't that. Like, stop, because like when we're talking about mass shootings, like the idea of like, hey, if like 4 people get injured, I think it's very stupid because mass shootings has become an emotionally charged term.
Mm-hmm.
Right, just like how terrorism. We were watching RoboCop. We'll have a Patreon video about RoboCop soon. But in RoboCop, there's a scene where they're like, there's a terrorist incident downtown. What is the terrorist incident? It's a public official being held hostage, right? Because that's terrorism. Today, when you say terrorism, nobody thinks of like, hey, you know, a public official being held hostage and things like that. So the thing is that when the way they like write this, it sounds like AR-15s have been used in 200 mass shootings, right?
Which, if we're going by definition, would be 3 or more dead in every event.
Yeah. So it's like, but the thing is like comparing the Allentown terrorist attack to 199 other gun crimes. First of all, gun crime in America off the rails for starters, right?
Yeah.
So it's like how, like, so the fact that you have tons of mass shootings related to common crime. So it's the issue of the inflated statistic here, and I think that it's like it's doing a disservice to what that Allen terrorist attack was by like just looping these things in together.
But it also lessens what a mass shooting is, and it's a mass casualty event, not injuries, deaths. It softens what a mass shooting is because it's like, oh, it's just another one. But no, this one was 50 people, right? In the event of like the Las Vegas one, right? People were just like, oh, it's just another mass shooting in America. American and their guns, right? But it's not, right? It's not. It was the number is in the dozens to hundreds at the high end. And that's a bad, bad, bad year. I don't think it's ever topped 100.
Yeah, and like I think it's also like it's not that it's not a problem.
No, yeah, that's exactly right. It's not that it's not an issue. It is. It's just it's like and this is where it's hard because the overinflated statistics are like, what are you trying to do? Lessen the impact? I'm like, no, I'm trying to get to the core of the fucking issue.
One of the few things where because like also because the conservatives are just so full of shit about this as well, and like like it's because like normally you'll have like a lot like Sam Cedar is normally bringing rationality and facts to the table, and I don't think that he's not using facts and not using rationality here. It's just that it's
being combative for no reason when
it's a right wing issue that also is like most of the arguments about it are taking place in like nonsense land.
Yes.
Where they talk about how like they need guns to fight the government and stuff. And like this whole like like Kid Rock shooting Bud Light with I think he used an MP5 or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just very silly. It's the cultural thing. That's like chud culture that Sam is that's the main reason why he doesn't like it as well.
Yeah. So yeah, it's there's a whole swath of issues that come along with having this discussion, which is why it's so fucking hard to find people to talk about it. And talk about it rationally either. Like I have no interest in having a discussion with someone who's just going to screech and cry incorrect
dead kids and stuff. Well, it's the same thing when you talk about like Israel and Palestine. How like
dead kids, right? It's always dead kids.
Yeah.
The trans thing, it's always about protecting kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always kids. They never actually care. It's always about the bigger issue. So if we can just eliminate that entire thing before we even start, then we can avoid that hour and a half of incomprehensible garbage before actually getting to it. So we'll see. Yeah, sword culture, dueling sword culture. Let's do that.
Yeah, like the Nazis.
Alcohol is used by a lot more people and it's far less lethal than weapons.
I mean, it kills 5,000 people or kills 5,000 adolescents every year.
But did you know that alcohol is regulated and certain alcohol cannot be sold?
But it's not banned.
Are you serious?
Did you know there are thousands of gun laws in America? You fucking numbskull.
Oh, like, you know what I have an issue with? You want to hear something I have an issue with?
How an Australian knows more about gun laws in America than most Americans?
You want to know what I have an issue with? That police use banned ammunition.
Do they use hollow points?
Mm-hmm. And their argument
is that no
in the state of
over-penetration?
so like I was just looking up. So there are states, state of New Jersey, hollow points are illegal, right? That's at least one that I've found instantly. So, but police use them in all of their guns, right? Well, all their handguns, right?
Yeah.
So their argument is that it doesn't over-penetrate. Didn't somebody die from being shot through a wall by police? Remember that? Remember when that happened? Like, what do you mean? They're like, well, there might be a kid on the other side of that criminal. It's like, no, you're using like bullets that are more dangerous and designed to kill and wound, right?
I mean, let's be real here. Cops are trained to empty their entire magazine because the dead people can't. What's the thing? Dead people tell no tales. Yeah, that's the motto of the cops. Is if they're dead, they can't talk about it. So just kill them. It's the American cop way.
The argument that I'm trying to get
But
across.
certain alcohols are like certain guns, which we should be allowed to ban.
If guns are to alcohol, then AR-15s are to some illegal alcohol that has been deemed too dangerous to sell on the.
Such as, I mean,
you freeze. I think you freeze.
My internet? Yes. Okay. Hi. I'm back. Hello. Did you know machine guns are banned? Because they're deemed too dangerous? You fucking moron.
Did somebody just say machine guns?
No. She's like, did you know that there's some alcohols that
Yeah,
are
well,
banned
like I
because
just
they're
said
too
with hollow
dangerous?
points, right?
Yeah, hollow
Like
points.
there's
machine guns.
There's all kinds of bullets that are banned.
So dumb. How is she that dumb? Like, what a stupid fucking statement.
I don't
Because
I,
no, but you have to
I
understand.
don't-
Like I said, the only thing they're used to engaging with is that Republicans say all gun control is a violation of the Constitution, right? So you have to
They're not used
remember
to
that
actual
they're brain
argument.
poisoned as well, right?
Mm.
Like I said, the main
Yeah.
reason Sam Cedar is against this is because of the chud culture saying that.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
levels of
So he's a reactionary.
Oh yeah. Of course, he's
Moonshine
reactionary
that-
about everything, but he's still rational.
You sure? Yeah.
have too high of a concentration of alcohol that is not going to be allowed at your local alcohol store. There are regulations for this. You know this.
Okay, well,
My favorite is
I
when
just
they
wanna
say like
engage
the
with my
shit
point.
about the muskets.
Well, I mean, moonshine, and people make it illegally anyways, and that's kind of like the whole right-wing point of the guns is like, hey, if you ban it, they're going to get it anyways.
How
I
many
mean, there's
people
tons
do
of
you
people
know?
make-
How many people do you know that make moonshine?
I know
I
people
mean,
who
me
make
personally,
guns.
none.
Well,
But
I mean,
to say that it's not out there. is
Maybe
kind of-
Emma. Maybe it's because
for the
alcohol's
most part,
not illegal.
most people do not make moonshine. Yes, I would say that that moonshine is a lot less.
You know what's even funnier is it's more illegal to make moonshine than it is to make your own guns. It's completely legal to make your own guns as long as you don't sell them.
So my favorite thing
It's
is
also
when they
illegal
talk
to
about
sell
muskets,
moonshine.
right? And they talk about how sit the fuck down, bro.
I'm here. Just
And they talk about muskets, and they talk about how the Second Amendment was written for muskets, and it's like, do you
Yes.
understand how fucked up it is that they use like triangle bayonets and musket balls? Like, do you understand like how much worse that is to hit somebody with?
Yeah. Also, they were the military assault rifles at the time. So, yeah, if it's a living document, it evolves with time.
Moonshine was made during Prohibition because people were unable to access alcohol. It's a whole different situation. But
can I just read this? These are like you said.
Imagine how quickly homemade 3D printed automatic weapons would be developed if they banned guns. It would happen in weeks until someone had a fully operational, printable, automatic machine gun. And it would be on the
funny
internet.
what they fearmonger
that
on, because like right now it's
everybody-
auto sears, right?
Yeah.
The police are being like, oh, they make machine guns in your pockets.
Like the rainbow fentanyl, they pass out from
Yeah.
touching it.
Because like auto sears are like a kind of like the trendy like hood thing to do now. Because they always have they have like the custom auto sears and stuff.
I don't know what that is.
What?
I don't know what an auto sear is.
They turn your Glock into a fully automatic.
Oh, that's cool. It's just like a bump stock.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just bump fire it anyway. I
That's
think you
basically
can
what
bump
it is.
fire pistols, but I don't know.
Say a lot of like these. You did a study that shows like a lot of these shootings aren't related to the AR-15, and I know we have a lot of gun violence in this country that is like handguns and stuff like that. But get like Stoneman Douglas High School, 17 people dead. That's 2018. Las Vegas shooter, 58 people. 58.
The Stoneman Douglas shooter had cops called on him multiple different times for murdering animals in his backyard with a gun, and the cops did nothing. They knew about it. They let it happen. Was that also the one? No, Uvalde was the one that they that the cops stood outside while kids died. Most of the time, it's the cops' fault. Actually, that's another thing that we haven't mentioned yet. Is
they call them
strategy of the
they
police.
call them switches. They call
Ah.
them switches in the hood, right? But they
Interesting.
have all these like custom ones. They're so like
Mm.
see that's So you can 3D print these.
Oh, okay.
And they like attach right to the Glock.
Oh, that's cool.
And so police are fear mongering about it because
Of course they
it's trendy for criminals to use right now.
Mm-hmm. Of course. But yeah, so it's like, forgot what I was talking about. Thanks.
Uh-huh. You're welcome.
People.
Yeah.
Sutherland Spring. Would that have been possible if we were say limiting the capacity of magazines?
Well, so, and that's not
Oh my
even my
God.
argument. I'm not saying limiting or like
Whoa,
putting
whoa,
more
whoa, whoa.
regulation.
This
I'm
guy just
saying
asked if the
ban-
Vegas shooting.
What is the
Vegas shooting would have been possible if we limited magazines? We remember how we banned bump stocks because of that. Have you seen what the
Mhm.
crime scene looked like?
No.
I'm gonna make sure I don't put his corpse on screen. So.
Oh yeah, I was talking about how most mass shootings really get to high numbers because of the police and how they're all fucking cowards. And how the tactics of police in other countries are completely different, and they'll actually just go in and kill the person. Because that's more important. Instead, Americans just wait for the SWAT team to rock up with 30 cops outside while one person is slaughtering children. Yeah, it's very cool. But yeah, I wonder why mass shooting numbers get so high in America. Must be guns. Must be. That must be the problem. You found it yet?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I grabbed a picture where his body wasn't visible.
I haven't seen the one with the body.
So like this is just the body is facing the other direction in this picture.
Mhm.
So the front of the hotel, this is where police enter here. This bedroom has more guns in it. You see how many guns are here? This dude had like dozens of guns ready to go with the mags in them. And he didn't even go through all of them, right? Because he ends up shooting himself. He like rigged a wire to a door, like a trigger wire to know that people were coming. He was shooting down the hall at police, right? So like police were also under fire. And he rigged a webcam to like a service cart outside the door.
I
right?
saw that.
So
They had a live feed to the hallway.
yeah.
Pretty
But
crazy.
like, what do you mean magazine limits, bro? This is not a normal person.
Yeah,
like-
this is not a normal thing to legislate for. And if you legislate for extremes, you're an idiot. It's like legislating on emotion. You're just
Like,
dumb. Stop this.
There's certain ones like sure the Aurora shooter. He wasn't a normal person either, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I think that is one of the people who've done something like this that can get treatment and get better. You know, because he was so mentally unwell.
Yeah.
Unlike these like racists who put the white out in their fucking guns and shit.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like imagine watch they start using chlorine in attacks and they start wanting to ban pool chemicals.
Yeah. But yeah, as the last like 30 minutes of us talking has explained, there is much more to this conversation than mass shootings and AR-15s. So please, anytime you see somebody that brings anything like this up, just tell them to shut up. Just stop. Just stop it. Just shush them. Pat them on the head and tell them everything's going to be okay.
Society, because really it comes down to we make a decision, right? As a society.
I mean,
wait, hold on. Let me finish this. Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
Well, you can get to the freedom thing in a second, but but we make a decision in this country, right?
Okay.
Approximately 5,000 underage drinkers, for whom it's illegal, let's say, to have drinks, to consume alcohol, die of alcohol poisoning because they get a hold of it, right? I mean, this is a problem with everything, frankly, but I mean, let's just stick with alcohol. The question is at that point is just broadly speaking, society makes a choice, right? I mean, society makes a choice in terms of alcohol. If there was not enough people who wanted access to alcohol in this country, then they would see that cost associated with underage drinking to be sufficient enough to attempt to ban it. Right? I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
we know that.
No, absolutely.
We saw it during Prohibition.
The inclination to ban something instead of look at the actual root cause of something is half of the issue with democracies. Like if you rile up a mob enough, they will do whatever you want. I mean, what do you think the witch trials were, if not hysteria? And democratic, mind you. Very democratic. So if you like this is such a shit argument. It's just such a shit argument because it just ignores everybody else. It also ignores the fact that it will impact people, mostly minorities, a lot.
Yeah.
So
I have
this is another thing.
many like trans friends that are
Mm.
enthusiasts that and why they have like I can't rightfully take away their guns.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah,
give a fuck less about fucking whiteys.
But like there's way more to this than most people let on.
That's basically what it came down to. It wasn't necessarily they were concerned about underage drinking, although I imagine that was part of it. But it was, broadly speaking, they were just concerned about people getting drunk. They didn't want people to get drunk. They didn't want people to drink. And society reacted to it. There is no...
You know what they did? Educated people.
It was religious shit, though.
The alcohol. The
Yeah, they
prohibition.
didn't care if
Yeah.
they got drunk or not. It was religious shit.
Yeah. As per usual, religion's fucking shit up. Gotta love it. Organized religion.
way that you can tell me society doesn't want to ban, at least in terms of like to the extent that we can measure it, in terms of the people in this country, doesn't want to ban this one product versus how much value they see in it. That's the case.
Okay, ban the AR-15. Okay, Colt can't sell it anymore, but all the other companies, they can. They're not AR-15s. You know, H&K has the HK-416. That's not an AR.
They used to put arsenic in bread.
Really? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Of course they did.
Insane. But like this, and if that is the argument that he's going with, that they're talking about banning the product, what is that going to solve exactly? An AR-15 is one of thousands of semi-automatic rifles. Stupid. Dumb argument. Dumb.
So if you don't accept that, if you don't accept that there's a difference between kids who make a bad decision and drink alcohol and end up killing themselves because that product exists in the world versus kids who die because by no decision of their own, they just went to school. And if you...
Okay, drink driver, same scenario, same two products, same problem. Person dies because of someone's dumb decision.
Drunk drivers kill
What
everyone
now?
all the time.
Exactly.
Kill children all the
now?
time too. What about those
yes,
kids?
Exactly. What about them? Do they not matter now because they're not in your specific scenario? It's the same thing you're talking about. Their life was taken because of the decisions and choices of somebody else. So what?
But, like,
what now?
The thing is, what I'm saying is like we regulate everything.
Yeah.
Like they would still put arsenic and shit in bread if they could.
Mm-hmm.
So like, again, Sam thinks they're arguing. Well, he is arguing for the ban of the assault rifle, right? But he thinks that this is a guy who doesn't believe in any gun control.
Yeah.
When there's no such thing as no gun control.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's irrelevant to even be against gun control because it's delusional.
Yeah.
The government is going to regulate everything.
Yeah. And there's already thousands of gun laws.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deny the terror aspect of it, right? Because my kids don't have to go to school.
I also wouldn't want to go back to using muskets with triangle bayonets,
Mm.
you know, to defend my house. I don't even own guns. I could care less.
Go through a traumatizing lockdown because of alcohol. So the cost is not just the deaths of kids.
What about the people who saw that girl die in a nightclub because she was drunk and got in a fight and fell and landed on a glass and cut her arteries open, cut her neck in half, and bled out on the floor in seconds? Do you think those people are traumatized by that, seeing someone literally bleed to death in seconds?
She was also a Somali Muslim immigrant, so it was
Yes.
especially tragic for her family because
Mhm.
she was engaging in a lifestyle that they were actively against.
Yeah. So like, and so like again, another pretty much paralleled situation.
Video's crazy.
It's insane.
Actually,
Right,
what's
like-
funny about it? Well, not funny, but I was going through deleting shit from my Google Drive, and that was on there because I was like, I must have shown it to you
Yeah.
because it was one of the craziest things that I seen.
Yeah.
Because it's just like so crazy. It's like the girl's still hitting her, has no idea that woman is like already dead because of how
Yes.
fast she was bleeding out.
Yeah. So crazy. But again, a parallel situation of like exactly a traumatic incident, right? Nobody in that bar is going to look at people the same way.
Yeah,
They're
and it's
all damaged.
and like I remember Twitter being turning it into like a racial thing and saying that she was stabbing her over and over again with the glass
Yes.
and shit.
Yes.
When it's like she was too drunk to know what was even going on.
And what happens in mass shootings, right?
It
Everybody
might have been a
attributes
racial
motives.
thing. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying she
Yeah.
was too drunk to like have any clarity of like that this girl just died.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right. And what
who
do people
dies
in mass
instantly
shootings
like
do?
that, you know?
No, yeah, it's very rare. So it's like, but what do people do in mass shooting events, right? They attribute motives to the shooters based on how they look. Often it's racial, right? It's so many parallels, but still nobody can make this connection that this is like it's not that it's a normal thing, but it's that it's a trauma
It's
is
a modern issue though. We didn't
yes.
have this issue before.
Yeah, it's very
We
much
still
a
had mass
modern issue.
shootings, but come on. The different like there is a difference with the mimetic shootings with constant assault rifles, right?
Mhm.
It's like why is that happening? How do we
Yeah.
stop it? I agree.
It's also what it does to society. And if you don't look at what it does in terms of like what it causes our police officers to buff up and get into SWAT gear, in the way that they do. And
they were going to do that anyway. Stop fucking kidding
Do you know
yourself.
what caused
Shut
that?
the fuck up.
Do you know what caused that?
9/11?
No. So there's I think ironically enough, the guys were Middle Eastern.
Okay.
Um
Was this the event where they were outgunned? The cops were outgunned? It was like
So-
the LA riots or whatever it was?
Yeah, it wasn't LA riots. I don't even know what this name would be from. I have to Google. It's got like things on the A that I've never even seen this before on A's, right?
Is it a little squiggle?
It's like little like quarter circles. It just comes
Oh.
up with this guy. He's Romanian. Okay.
Okay.
So they like bank robbed, right? But they were in armor.
Ah.
He had a Chinese AK variant Bushmaster X15.
Okay.
Right, but they wore armor, and the police were trying to shoot their legs from underneath the car. And the police, this was the LA guys, right? So they didn't have like rifles, right? So they
Yeah.
had to go to the gun store nearby and get rifles. The guy gave the police rifles to go kill these guys.
I think I have heard of that actually.
I think
that was the one that I was thinking of.
Yeah, so both robbers were killed, 12 police officers and 8 civilians were injured. Numerous vehicles and other property were damaged or destroyed by the nearly 2,000 rounds of ammunition fired by the robbers and police.
That's
Right?
wild.
Now, So in this case, I would see why arming police with rifles, it's to prevent 2,000 rounds of ammunition, right?
As a
But
quicker
that's
means to an end.
right. But that's the point of like, this is a one-time incident that caused police to start militarizing, and 9/11 only made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
The look of all those Uvalde police, was a function of the potential threat of somebody coming in with that type of weapon. But you look at all those costs associated with it, and you ignore those costs, and you just look at what people want. And granted, our political system is not adept at necessarily addressing those concerns. But I mean, if we're just talking,
a politician's job in a democracy is to address an issue and fix it the best way that they can.
It's also
Banning
like,
guns is not the best
all
way.
of this gun is done locally, right?
Yes.
So like, local politics does not have the issues of national politics. To do a national ban on anything, I think, is kind of crazy, unless it's stuff like, not putting arsenic in your food.
Yeah.
Like, even state by state, alcohol laws are different.
Yeah.
Drug laws are
Is it
different.
federal that it's 21 to drink?
Yes, but I think states can lower it if they want to.
Interesting.
So like, we raised the age on tobacco sales here, but I think that's
Yeah,
only
I
a
was
county
in
thing.
I was in America when that happened.
I'm not sure if it's the whole state.
Because that happened in South Carolina when I was there in 2019.
about, broadly speaking, why we should ban it. That's why I think we should ban them.
Well, so I want to counter a couple of those things because I think the main reason, and honestly, if you go look at, polls after, like, say, 2 months after a mass shooting with an AR-15 style rifle, it usually gets back to like 50-50. So it's actually a literal wedge issue at that point. But with that being said, the main reason why I think it gets such high poll ratings is because the AR-15 mass shooting is front and center. I think, like, for instance,
why do you think it's front and center?
Well, I mean, because they have to, of course.
No. I mean, we know alcohol deaths with adolescents happen too, but why do you think?
No. But that's what I'm getting to. I feel like
if it bleeds, it leads. There's a lot of blood coming from children during mass shooting events. It's going to stay there for a while. Why is it there, Sam? That's why.
Like, if mainstream media was posting every single night that an adolescent dies from alcohol.
Why do you think they don't?
I would say.
Why do you think they don't do that?
Because the alcohol lobbying money pays them.
Yeah.
Well, I have no idea, actually.
Really?
Let's see if Sam knows.
Do you have kids?
Well, I do not.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't think that you would need to have kids to understand the horror that people feel that they can't send their kids to schools without the sense that there is nothing they can do whatsoever to protect them from a mass shooting.
It's not that common. I wonder how many schools are in America? Tens of thousands.
Common enough, like that. Remember when conservatives did that whole kitty litter thing?
Kitty litter? No.
Yeah, they said that Joe Rogan even helped do this. They said that kids identified as cats, and that's why they have kitty litter. Right? Do you know why the school ended up having kitty litter?
Because one kid asked.
Mass shootings. It's a survival kit. They need to go to the bathroom. Right?
Wait, what?
So it's a bucket with kitty litter, so if the kid has to go to the bathroom in lockdown, they can do it. Because this district has already had mass shootings. That's why they're there.
Wait, multiple?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a different situation.
And it turned into
right?
this anti-trans conspiracy thing.
Interesting. I didn't know that. But I also didn't really give a shit. I'm like, oh, like, okay, school has kitty litter. Big fucking deal. Who gives a shit? Right? But that's very interesting. My response to that would be that district has a very unique situation and they have responded accordingly. And that's about it. So, it really wasn't that hard.
My mom
Mm.
asked me one day what a furry is, and I instantly knew this was what she was talking about. And she's sitting here arguing with me about shit she doesn't even know about, right?
Yeah.
Saying that she was told by her fascist friend's daughter, basically, that this is happening at our local school district. No, it's not. She's like, well, they were there. How do you know? Yeah. She's like, they were there. How do you know? You weren't there. Because I know. Because that's retarded. I mean, stupid.
Or that you can't go to a concert, let's say in Vegas, without there's nothing we can do. Like I can tell my kids, at least I have a shot at telling my kids, be careful about alcohol. Right? I mean, at least, it may not be rational, it may not make a difference, but at least I feel as a human being some comfort in that maybe my kids have listened to me and this and that. But there is absolutely nothing I can do. I mean, it's like, look, let's be honest. It's why crime is more of a political issue than, let's say, car deaths. Okay? Because at least we feel like we have some measure of control over car deaths. But we can't necessarily have control over crime because that's somebody else's
You just need to look at these conservatives who are constantly saying that fentanyl is coming from Mexico and that's why we need to bomb the cartel and go to war with Mexico to realize that's you. Like you're doing the emotional thing and talking about dead kids. They're doing the emotional thing talking about dead kids.
They'll never see it though because it's they have no introspection.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why it's people, gets more attention in the news because it's considered more horrific.
Well,
He got it.
Terrorizes people.
He nailed it. He nailed it. If it bleeds, it leads. They give zero fucks about the story. That's it. There's blood. It's a story. It gets clicked. It gets clicks. Win-win.
Teen drinking does not.
Yeah, because guns, when you are using a gun as
More
opposed
people-
to using alcohol,
More people have been lost somebody because of drinking and drugs than they have to guns. So
Almost
why
there,
isn't it more emotional?
Yeah, that's a fair question.
I don't know anyone who's been shot.
It's the
Besides,
shock
like,
value.
military,
It's
But,
the
like,
shock value.
I don't know anyone who's even shot themselves and killed themselves with that way. I know a lot of people have killed themselves deliberately with drugs. I know a lot of people have. My roommate died from drugs, but because basically he had been doing drugs his whole life, so his like organs were shutting down, and he like left. He went to like Arizona to get away from it all, right? So I don't know if he like relapsed. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but his body was like so destroyed anyway that I had to kick him out because I didn't want him to die in my house. I was like, you have to die somewhere else, bro. And you're not paying rent. I justified it by saying the rent thing, because I wasn't going to have this like conversation about like his like drug use and stuff.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean, he was a friend of mine, but like he was still just like
there's a point, yeah.
Renting a room.
Yeah, like sometimes people just can't help themselves.
He has closer friends, and it had been a problem in his life for a long time.
Yeah.
We all knew it. I knew it before I had him move in.
Whether what you can do, you can't operate machinery, you can't drive when you're drunk. But if we don't have sufficient regulations for guns,
we do. We do.
You know what you
sufficient
can do? You
regulation.
know what you can do while you're driving with guns? Shoot.
Like I'm fine with like not for, but I don't care if there's like I don't care about New York gun laws really. Other than that they were racist, you know. But like the New York style rifle, I don't care. I don't give a shit.
2, guns are designed to kill other people. Alcohol you can consume in moderation, and that's why we have those regulations
False.
for
Factually false. 2 drinks a day is too much.
You can
3 drinks a week is too much.
I don't think
there is
any
no
type
moderate
of-
drinking.
I don't think any type of recreational substance use is like
Mhm.
I think it's still your choice to do. But
Yeah, but there is no moderate alcohol consumption. That's just a fact. Ask anybody who knows what they're talking about.
how much alcohol can be in hard liquor, for example, because it's not meant because we don't want people to die.
And let's be clear. We're also
hold on. I used to drink like Devil Springs out of the bottle in college. That shit should not have been
80%
legal.
absinthe. 80% absinthe, that's fine. 85%, no, that's not fine. But 80%, you're good. All good. Never. That's never killed anybody.
Hold on. I don't think that argument. I don't think that argument necessarily means ban things. You're just saying regulation.
Okay, well, you're saying like you know,
Like,
we're not
for
talking
instance,
about banning guns. We're talking about
banning certain
regulating.
She's not on board. They're not on the same page.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
the
fine
funniest part.
I'm fine with regulations. Make the as long as they're not like racist.
Yeah, make the regulations make sense instead of having
Yeah,
politicians
instead of like
fight them.
being able to refuse a gun license for anyone for whatever reason that you have.
Yeah. Like actually consult maybe the firms who are fighting gun laws that are bad. Maybe consult them when writing gun laws.
Also regulation
and
should not be an
the
expansion
NRA.
of government on something like
Yes.
this.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. If something is banned from the population, it should be banned from the police and the state as well.
We now are doing the same thing with marijuana. Anyone can be refused to grow a license on character. So clearly they don't want because they want the black people to still be disenfranchised by marijuana.
Of course.
So all the
Which gun-
legalization of weed that Como did was to get these fucking Nepo babies who don't want to actually get a real job to invest in grow ops and like pay taxes to us.
Can be produced now, but hold on for a second. Society has gone about as far as it could without an outright ban on alcohol in terms of preventing that thing. There are we accept car deaths too, right? We decide sort of somewhat arbitrarily 55. Maybe it's not totally arbitrary. There's some data that suggests that like productivity and efficiency and least amount of deaths, and that's it. But AR-15s, that to me is like, it's one thing you call in and say like, we shouldn't ban guns totally because we won't have the ability to hunt. And some people actually need it for their food. You'd have a stronger argument, I think, with people.
No.
Let me ask
Everything
you
we've
this.
said so far is a much stronger argument that you clearly don't have any response to. And you would probably be persuaded over to agree with.
No, he would continually to bring up. He would focus on that we're
death.
saying statistics are wrong, and he'd continually bring up the data and say where it's come from and how they get the data and prove why his data is valid. He wouldn't be able to accept that the data that he's using is invalid.
Is incorrect using the wrong statistics that even the state disagrees with. Because that's my favorite part, and this is why I like using this statistic, is I can like literally the level for mass shooting was actually higher pre-2012. It was 4 or more, but they brought it back down to 3 in the United States to level it out with what mass murder was, which was 3, right? So why should mass shooting be 4 and mass murder be 3? It doesn't make any sense. If they're essentially the same thing, why not have them be streamlined at a legal standpoint?
And
So they
again,
did.
as you can see, his issue is these things happen at schools, right? And
Mm.
banning the AR-15 would not stop school shootings.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't even put an impact in it.
Yeah, and like some of the most violent school shootings weren't done with these types of rifles.
Yeah.
Why should we ban, let's say, bazookas?
Well, we don't ban bazookas.
We don't.
We don't. It's regulated. Go,
It's regulated.
The 19.
Okay.
The
Well, I think that
National Firearms.
I think we can agree. Then I think hold on. Then I think we can agree that what about we just ban AR-15s the way that we regulate AR-15s in the way that we regulate bazookas? How about that?
Okay.
I mean, if that's what it had to be,
Just
sure.
AR-15s?
We'll take it.
Okay, just the
Well, we could-
AR-15s regulated. Problem solved. Let's watch nothing change.
Also,
let's watch everybody just move to SIG because SIG is now the military rifle.
It's like what? Well, we banned explosives.
Good. This is so dumb.
We come together.
Yeah, I've even said like
Fair
on the feral hogs thing, like the government should be able to issue the like dozen people that need a feral hog gun, a feral hog gun.
Did he just say the dozen people? This guy has never left a city.
Oh, well, this is the guy who doesn't touch grass. He's their tech producer, right?
Listen to what he says.
I know what he
Glad
said.
we could come together.
Yeah, I've even said like
Fair
on the feral hogs thing, like the government should be able to issue the like dozen people that need a feral hog gun, a feral.
The dozen people. Dozen. Does he understand that the entirety of Texas and most of the South has an issue with feral pigs? To the point that it's almost devastating the entirety of the crop fields? It's a big problem. My guy, leave Los Angeles. Just drive into the desert. Pick up some sand from the desert. Just go outside, please. For your own sake.
Feral hog gun.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a problem with feral hogs, you go down to the local sheriff's department, Game and Fish. You get your license, and you go shoot your feral hogs if that's what you really.
Famously, nobody fishes without a license. Nobody hunts without a license. Famously,
You know what else you could do, especially right now, is skip that entire process and just take care of the problem before it gets worse. How efficient was that?
You need to do. I mean, we have fishing licenses, for God's sakes.
Oh my God.
And I think people like
you go to the Cape, you can't go just take a clam. You could walk out to the beach and you dig your foot around and you pull a clam out, but you can't. If you fill a bucket full of clams and a gaming guy catches you, you get fined. I mean,
I'm in Spain without the
ass. Like crying about their freedoms.
This is a role for the state. Like if we are going to have guns,
yeah, it's a role for individual states. Correct. So you can shut the fuck up.
I think you said the state.
Whatever. Fuck.
Anyway, I'm over it. Let's go to Vosh. Anyway, we made a pretty compelling argument as to why he's absolutely incorrect on this subject. So, on to Vosh.
Okay, Anna Kasparian and Jenk argue, huh? Lots of views, 50-50 like-dislike ratio. What's going on here? Hold on.
Chunk.
Despite fierce calls for her ouster, the Harvard Corporation, along with hundreds of faculty members at the Ivy League school, have decided to stand behind their president, Claudine Gay. Now, even a politically motivated attempt at getting her fired due to allegations of plagiarism didn't seem to work. And we'll give you the details on that in just a moment. But before we do,
I haven't been keeping up too much with what's going on at Harvard, but my understanding is that the school is protecting their students and not letting a bunch of like billionaires and autocrats tear them apart for being pro-Palestinian. And as a consequence of that, there is an effort to oust the president. So her staying there is good.
I think it's important to just refresh our memories in regard to why there are calls for Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard University, to step down. It all really began last week when
Not just students, also professors. Yeah.
the House Committee on Education and the Workforce held a hearing with university presidents coming from Harvard, from Penn, and also from MIT. They asked about student protests and about the notion that some of these protesters are engaging in anti-Semitic rhetoric that makes Jewish students at these institutions feel unsafe. And really what got the most attention.
Oh yeah, speaking of there's no way I can't show this here. Speaking of making students feel unsafe, look at this insane video.
I'm so
A Harvard
excited.
grad student wearing a keffiyeh, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, was subjected to Islamophobic harassment on campus by Eve Gerber, wife of Jason Furman, professor at Harvard's Kennedy School, and a former Obama admin advisor.
Nope. Okay,
She's
let me
accusing
explain.
the student of making people feel unsafe.
So this Harvard president, right? They found out years ago, like basically in her dissertation or something, she plagiarized. Right?
Okay.
And so the Daily Wire has especially been outraged that she's not banned immediately, just because she's a black woman of color. They want her to be
Interesting.
banned, and they need to talk about how because she's a black woman of color, which
Yeah.
kind of seems redundant to say black woman of color. But
Yeah, that's why you just drop the of color thing and just say black woman.
well, they see it's covering for them to not say colored person, which is what they want to say.
Yes.
I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
so they're outraged that she didn't they voted to keep her, basically. So it was a scandal of plagiarism in the past. They said, does this person deserve to be president if they plagiarized in the past? They said yes. A total win for intersectionality, I guess, because totally people give a shit about what happens at Harvard in this country.
Because it's definitely regular people problems.
Yeah, and also they're crying today. There's a video going around of a kid who got rejected to Harvard who had great credentials, I guess. I could care less. And they're like, he got rejected because he was white. And it's like, do y'all remember that the Supreme Court literally banned affirmative action and you were cheering about it? Oh, now it's just the institution that's racist. Okay, not the law. And it's racist against
for
white
walking
people. But
around
institutional racism doesn't exist.
Wearing just Muslim garb or whatever, when she's literally stalking and shouting or harassing him in the street. You're making me feel unsafe. As
Eve Gerber is such a name that you would expect from someone to do this sort of shit, though, isn't it? Exactly the kind of name you'd expect.
I chase you down, literally the turf thing, as they mount a harassment campaign against trans people on the basis that the trans person is making other people feel uncomfortable. Love wearing my terrorist scarf to Harvard. This is, hold on, let me get a mental image for what this is. I'm pretty sure I went to school with some Muslim people. I'm pretty sure this is a very normal thing to wear. It's literally this. It's literally right? It's a cool scarf. This is the terrorist scarf, you see.
So let me explain.
I don't know Arabic, but I'm pretty sure this lettering.
Well, so it's a fishing net, right? It's a symbol of Palestine resistance, right? So this is specifically this style of scarf with the white is a symbol for the Palestinian resistance, right? So they say that it's a terrorist scarf because it's specifically Palestinian, not Hamas. It's a Palestinian symbol of identity. Right, because I don't know what all the symbols are. I just know the main one is the fishing net there, right? So that's why they say it's a terrorist scarf, because it's Palestinian. That's all.
Right.
If it was a Palestinian flag, it's a terrorist flag to them.
Of course.
It's a bomb or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's the Hamas tunnel scarf. The lines represent the tunnels that connect the underground red barrel chambers where they store the red barrels that they place in near chest-high walls before engaging with the IDF. That's what this represents. It's their
olives. Yes, that's what it. So those
anyway,
are olive leaves. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, olive leaves are another thing on there. There's 3 things on there. I don't remember what the third one is though. So I could Google it. Someone will tell me.
Of making people feel unsafe on campus. Christ. Yeah, each dot is a hospital base. Exactly.
Was an exchange featuring Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who has never uttered a word against right-wingers who spew, anti-Jewish conspiracy theories like the Great Replacement Theory or anything like that, but she did use this hearing as an opportunity to really make a name for herself. And so here's the moment that got a lot of attention, featuring Claudine Gay.
And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying?
You have to get that as a soundbite. Dr. Gay.
Ivashko is sorry because he's laughing about the name.
And harassment, yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual, targeted at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand?
This is a lie, by the way. But of course, when she says like calls for the genocide, this is like River to the Sea discourse, I'm pretty sure. This is like there are students saying River to the Sea, and then they're like, oh, that means the slaughter of all. Wasn't there, who was that guy on Twitter the other day who said that ceasefire now is a call to murder British Jews? Was it ceasefire now or from the ceasefire? Yeah, this guy. A ceasefire is a call to murder British Jews. This guy, anyway, just like the amount of hysteria and like laundering of terminology. Optically, that was a horrible answer to the question, though. Yeah, I know it's like because it's a bad faith question, right? Because like a student also wouldn't get ousted if they said something like decolonize America, even though that could arguably interpreted as like an extermination or a genocide or ethnic cleansing of white Americans. Right? Like there are lots of things that you can say.
She's
which, if
already got
interpreted
the
in
rage
bad
face
faith, come
out there.
across as genocidal, but that's like the problem with the bad faith interpretation, right?
Understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism?
What?
I will ask you one.
The thing I don't understand about these people is like, aren't you doing the same thing? Like you want us to get all huff and puffed about them doing anti-Israeli shit, but isn't everything you do, your existence, your entire message supposed to dehumanize them being the Palestinians? Isn't that their entire worldview? Like, fuck you. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Fuck off.
More time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate?
I think she should put her mouth closer to the mic, by the way. I'm not quite getting... I think that's the main problem with her rhetoric.
Thing, like from regular people. I should qualify. When did that ever happen? Poor choice of words. I fucking hate this topic.
I just want to see Jean Cluse's shit.
I hate this fucking topic. You have to tread on so much fucking broken glass. It's so annoying. Fuck off. And it's all because they try and implicate everything to the fucking Holocaust. Like, you're the ones fucking doing it now, you fucking dickheads. Shut up. You've lost all of sympathy. All of it.
Right now.
Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
You're bullying
Anti-Semitic
right now.
rhetoric. And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Huh?
I said, you're the one who's being a bully now.
Anti-Semitic rhetoric, when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
Great.
So Dr. Gay was trying to give a nuanced answer in a world where nuance is increasingly rejected. And so since she didn't clearly say that calling for the genocide of Jews is unacceptable and we will investigate it, she specifically wanted to focus on when that rhetoric crosses over into actual harassment. And look, I would have preferred for her to be a lot clearer. There was a lot of legalese used in the way that these university presidents answered that question, and it did not bode well for them. And that's what led to calls for their resignation. And I want to also be clear that there is no evidence of students chanting about genociding Jewish people. There have been chants featuring them saying things like "from the river to the sea," which is interpreted by some as calling for the destruction of Israel. But I don't think that most students who engage in that rhetoric think that they're calling for the destruction of Israel or the elimination.
Even if they were, calling for the destruction of a country is not necessarily the same as bigotry against a group of people present in that country. Like arguing like destroy Rhodesia would not have been like a genocidal call for the elimination of all white people or whatever. Like that's just not how this works. Okay. There is a problem with anti-Semitism, broadly, obviously, but like overwhelmingly anti-Semitism does not come from college students protesting in favor of Palestine. It comes from, as Anna Kasparian has correctly pointed out, the right wing, who like the right wing is literally building an entire national movement right now on the idea of like the Great Replacement theory and cultural Marxism and everything else that is literally just Nazi rhetoric, very transparently painted over for a modern audience.
Hi,
And meanwhile, like
Nazi here.
we're suddenly very, very concerned with anti-Semitism purely in the context of students calling for, you know, for the murder to stop at 20,000 Palestinian civilians dead. You know, like that's where we're drawing the line on this anti-Semitism business. You know what I mean? Like Donald Trump having dinner with Nick Fuentes, or fundraising events with him as well. Like the entire right wing reconstructing anti-Semitic conspiracy theories or blaming everything on George Soros, you know, whatever. That doesn't matter. Okay. What does matter? All right. Did you know that there are 19-year-olds at a college who are outraged by the incineration of 20,000 Palestinian babies?
Of Israel.
Look, more babies, kids, every fucking time.
They think that they're fighting for the rights of Palestinians who are currently being crushed in the Gaza Strip. So that's the background. Before I get to the latest details of what's occurred in this story, I wanted to give you an opportunity, Cenk, to weigh in.
Yeah. So now that
okay, guys. Yeah, look, guys.
Launched this weapon of mass distraction.
Weapon of mass distraction
has to be eliminated. So they got the president of Penn.
What did you say? Eliminated?
Could you give us some of your political beliefs? Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder.
And to resign. Tremendous pressure from the alumni saying that they're going to pull hundreds of millions of dollars. How dare you? We love cancel culture. We hate free speech. Make sure you cancel anyone who disagrees with Israel, etc. And it worked. They eliminated her.
Yeah, this is like a modern wave of McCarthyism, unironically, because students may be left-leaning and professors may be left-leaning, and even sometimes the administration is left-leaning, but the funders of a university, the people who really hold the power, the people with the money who back it for private universities, those people, because they're wealthy, tend to be, you know, modern-day robber barons, rich dipshits with a ton of connections. And the more conservative and rich you are, the more likely you are to be a Zionist. Yeah.
The president of MIT is Jewish, so calling her anti-Semitic hasn't worked as well. That's why you're not seeing her name in the news at all. That's why they're focusing on the presidents of Penn and Harvard, because they're not Jewish. So that's how this hatchet job is executed. And later, when we give you the details of the so-called made-up plagiarism, I hate that we're even using that word because it's nothing but a lie. And so we'll explain that in a second. And I want to explain the phenomenon in a second. But in terms of this first,
I don't know anything about the plagiarism accusation.
It's okay,
I also don't care. Right. In the context of what's happening right now, like it seems kind of trivial compared to like an ethics investigation. I mean, maybe there's something there, but it's that's not something I really care about.
When did they stop fighting?
Personally.
Part here, you have to understand.
Okay, let's.
I mean,
After a report in the Washington Free Beacon on Monday and a Sunday post on Substack.
Kanye used to be very progressive politically. Yeah, Kanye is a pretty clear example of a person whose politics are most heavily influenced by the fact that he's mentally ill.
No, Kanye's politics is influenced by the people who he surrounds himself with.
And mental illness.
Sure, I mean, that's a part of it, but it's more the people manipulating him around him.
I don't think it happens that often, but it definitely happens sometimes. It's genuinely very difficult to like meaningfully analyze what he believes when his main belief seems to be that he's kind of like a crazy megalomaniac, you know? There's only so much you can do, you know, working with that, I feel. Influenced by a lack of barrels of lithium, you mean? Yeah, that motherfucker needs to travel around in like an Amoga suit that has lithium being pumped into it at all times. He needs like a Bane chemical like exoskeleton apparatus that constantly pumps lithium into it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know how Bane gets like the green steroids pumped into him when he's about to do the Bane backbreak or whatever? He needs that whenever he's about to get in front of a microphone. Just you see him walk up to the paparazzi and you see like the of the lithium being pumped into him from the backpack.
claimed she plagiarized portions of 4 academic works over 24 years, including her 1997 PhD dissertation at Harvard. Now, this is very complicated, and for those who either believe or don't believe she engaged in plagiarism, I honestly think it's mixed. There are some areas where I do think that there is a case that can be made that she plagiarized, but there's a lot of nitpicking going on by people who very clearly are engaging in a political attack against her. I think it's important to look at this with a sober eye. Now, members of
I don't believe in any plagiarism.
Where's the
from
anger?
the original public.
Get out of this alive. So
Go ahead.
I don't know why Jake's being so
I'm going.
Yeah.
100% garbage.
Been posted on X that he sent the allegations to a senior member of the Harvard faculty who found them to be credible.
Where is
did
it?
not identify
I'm fucking better than you.
faculty member by name.
No.
You are
And so
garbage.
the Free
Okay,
Beacon
if you get a rise out of attacking the powerless, you're garbage.
article mentions 4 specific works from Claudine Gay that they believe give examples of her engaging in plagiarism. A 1993 essay in Origins, a shared publication between the Ohio State University and Miami University, her 1997 PhD dissertation from her time as a graduate student at Harvard. That particular example, I think, is kind of funny because they claim that she lifted quotes or work from the very person who was her dissertation advisor.
Yeah, it's nonsense, 100%.
Everybody is plagiarized at university.
It's Harvard though. For a dissertation, that's wild. If you do it for a dissertation, I'd probably
but it would come out so quickly, so easily. So this is obviously horse shit, right?
Garbage, but I'm okay. Keep going.
And also 2 papers that she wrote while she was a professor at Harvard in 2012 and in 2017. So
You
the
are
Crimson, according to
garbage.
their reporting, independently reviewed the published allegations, though some are minor, consisting of passages that are similar or identical to Gay's sources, lacking quotation marks but including citations. Others are more substantial, including some paragraphs and sentences nearly identical to other work and lack.
This segment reminded me of why I should stop watching TYT. Jank behaves like an idiot. Honest, carrying the cameras. I still don't understand when they're going to fight.
Citations.
what I'm
Some
looking
appear to
for.
violate Harvard's current policies around plagiarism and academic integrity.
Yeah, I also this is a lot more breadth than I would ever give this issue. Like Christopher Rufo literally admitted, like, yeah, this doesn't actually matter or mean anything. You know, we're just doing this to try to like add on to a pile.
So I'm going to give you one example, but I also want to note that it's unclear what Harvard's code of conduct on plagiarism was at the time that she put this work out. So here's her.
Okay, before you do that, let me just explain. After she's done with this, these are all hatchet jobs.
It is
all
a hatchet job.
Horse
That's true.
crap.
It's all
I'm going to explain why this is all garbage. A burning pile of total garbage.
Let's fucking go.
Okay, so but let me also say this, okay? It's clearly politically motivated. Okay, the hatchet job is clear to me as well.
She just,
but if there
he just was like, "I'll let you finish," but
hold on, Jake, listen to me for a second.
Oh, no.
If there are substantial examples of her engaging in plagiarism,
What is I don't even understand what the relevance is in like discussing this specific point, you know? I guess it's like I didn't think this is what they were going to argue about. I mean, maybe the plagiarism happened, maybe it did. It's just uninteresting to me in the broader context of like this neo-McCarthyite bullshit.
is a problem if she's the president of a university.
Yeah, I'll explain later. Just BS first.
Go ahead.
I don't know why Jenk's being so combative though. What the like? What couldn't Jenk just say like, yeah, but I think ultimately like since this is pretty transparently an attempt to divert our attention and sort of pile on, like I don't think too much like thought should be given to this, even if there is something that what's happening.
Okay, it's garbage. It's garbage. Okay.
Go ahead.
So guys, here's what happens. Okay, once
Okay,
someone
guys.
sticks their neck out and challenges the powerful, they
You
then
are
dig into
garbage,
their lives and they go, okay, we got to find some transgression so we can invent a scandal, and they'll get some hack like Rufo and some rant.
She included citations but forgot some quotation marks. Wait, so the plagiarized materials, there were citations there? I thought it said that they didn't have the citations or the quotation marks. If they had the citations but not the quotation marks, then it's obviously not plagiarism. It was either or, not both. Oh, okay, then there's nothing here. Okay. Okay, yeah, if it's cited or if there's one or the other, then there's nothing, literally nothing here, you know? Then it's just an improper citation, which everyone makes mistakes, you know?
At a rando place like Washington Free Beacon and a Substack account, okay, whatever the hell that is, okay? And they'll say, okay, this is just serious charges. And they'll repeat words like plagiarism 100 times.
Doofus.
And all the headlines will say plagiarism. And then when you look into it, what did Harvard conclude? 4 inadequate citations. Jaywalking is a significantly higher crime.
Hurts my brain.
Okay, that when the best you got is 4 inadequate citations, basically you're saying we dug and dug and dug to try to bury her and find one thing wrong in her life, but we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. So we got something where she left out quote marks, but put the citation in. We got a thing where she joined with another author. We got a thing where she quoted her own advisor. Sometimes in cases like this, because whenever they go after academics, their #1 hatchet job is plagiarism. Why plagiarism? Because it sounds so bad, right? And the average person doesn't understand plagiarism at all. And so they go, inadequate citations. And it makes it sound like, wow. It's nonsense. Total. So sometimes on plagiarism charges, they'll say,
yeah, Cenk 2024, huh?
When you look into the details, she quoted herself but didn't cite it. Oh, come on, guys, come on. So this is what I call needle in a haystack.
Not the best source.
Are they trying to represent the totality of her career, the haystack, or are they trying to find a needle in that haystack, pull it out and go, look at this needle. That's what she's about. That one time she got a citation wrong. Fire her. And who's Bill Ackman? Bill Ackman is one of the worst people in the country. He's a hedge fund manager who bribes, campaign contributions to politicians, buys them off left and
man. You know, I've said many times before that if Alex Jones was left-leaning, he would be a hero for our people. But I'm starting to think not, because a lot of people in chat are just cringing at Cenk literally being left-wing Alex Jones behaviorally, you know? So I don't know, maybe that behavior can only be appreciated from a distance, but if it's too close.
Right, left and right, gives a ton of money to his alma mater. And when he heard this, he's like, well, no criticism of Israel ever, fire her. I mean, I'm worried about an inadequate citation from 1987. So I'm really concerned about her academic situation. Guys, when they find something this minor, that means, oh my God, she was squeaky clean.
I'm telling you, this is the thing right now. This is the conservative outrage thing, not the butt sex in Congress.
It's
That's coming though. Just wait. Butt sex in Congress.
Oh, she let it
when Congress comes back, it's not going to stop. About how they had butt sex in the.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Any of you.
Vosh, he's making good points. I don't know. I love it. Yeah, no, he's not saying anything wrong here. I think he was kind of weird how aggro he was with Anna, but then Anna immediately snapped back, which makes me wonder what she's going to respond with. So I like, no, points wise, he's completely correct here, you know? Yeah.
To go through this kind of process and have them come up with only 4 inadequate citations.
Okay, we get it.
That means you're pretty much an angel.
We get it.
Yeah, he is. He styled.
Shows that it's more than just the lack of citations 4 separate times.
Okay, so a couple of points here. First of all, I do think that Cenk was rude with how he initially responded to Anna. Second of all, if she has...
Okay,
I don't care if she engaged in any plagiarism because this is politically motivated, then just say it. But
that's my take. I mean, if you want to circle back to this with the plagiarism bit in the future, let that be handled by academic scrutiny, not like this gigantic crowd of right-wing Zionists who clearly don't give a shit and are just using this as like a, side issue. Is this news? Absolutely.
My point is, even though I believe it is politically motivated that they're going after her, if there are substantial examples of her engaging in plagiarism at a university where students get expelled when they engage in plagiarism, it's a problem.
But they already did the analysis, Anna. So now we're going to do a double analysis on some jackass substacker who's obviously doing it for political reasons. And guess what? By the time that they reevaluate,
he's biting her lips, dude.
Nonsense charges, she'll already be fired. And Bill Ackman will go, yes, I won again. Send in the bull BS reporters to find the real problems in her career.
They did an analysis of the first round of plagiarism allegations that came out in October. But a new round round of allegations came out.
A new round. What a,
Too
look at that.
simple.
What a surprise.
Sometimes
round of allegations. Let's see if we can find more inadequate citations.
She hates him.
This is good. This is good. I like this. This is great. this actually, I mean, it is like an argument that is being made. Okay, in fairness, even though I fundamentally agree with Jenk here, Jenk is making this impossible to resolve. Like it is literally like it is clearly not possible to resolve anything here with him acting this way. Even if I generally agree with what he's saying. Turbo content pill, true. Nobody wants to admit you're right when you're an asshole about it. Well, it's not just a matter of admitting you're right. Everyone lionizes like, oh, well, he might be right, but he's an asshole. You're not Rick Sanchez. Like, it's not that hard to be right and also deliver the information correctly. There's no partial credit. If you're right, but you're insufferable about it, that's just you up. You got to be wrong despite being right. You know, like it's like you have to be right and also deliver that information in a way that people want to hear, because otherwise you're just doing it for your own sake. It's like jerk off shit, you know? Yeah, everyone wants to be Rick Sanchez. Like, well, you know, hey, I can't argue with his methods or whatever. You know, everyone's house. You know, yeah, burp, Morty. Yeah. Anyway, so there were 2 rounds of. See, I guess it's just weird that he keeps interrupting her, because I want to hear her actually talk about the shit. Like, she printed out stuff. Like, if she wants to talk about it, I don't think it's relevant to the broader discourse here, but if she has info, I want to hear it. I
don't care.
Just finish. Okay, then you don't care.
I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care. Be honest about that.
No.
Be honest about the fact that you don't care.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
If
you found out,
no,
I don't care. Let me explain.
Okay.
If you found out that she committed a robbery,
I told you would start hitting the desk. Did I not say I wanted to see him? And he's like,
I still wouldn't care, because you're trying to eliminate her. Because she said something you don't like. Don't go back into the past, find the tiniest little transgressions, and then we're going to have a debate over this poor woman's life and over her career.
A doofus.
No, I'm not going to engage with bad faith actors.
I think that what Jenk is describing here is actually very important.
Look, man, the last couple therapies that someone in this guy's family had didn't end very well, so that's probably a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. That's the issue.
We
were doing the couples therapy. Hasan wasn't saying, I hear you. I understand why you feel unlistened to. You know, he needed a couples therapist to get involved there.
Because this is exactly how they got dissidents in the Soviet Union. In surveillance states, totalitarian governments, and any other system where people are heavily scrutinized, it's possible for you to upset the powers that be without having actually broken any rules. But the rules are so vague and their knowledge on you is so significant that they can always find something to arrest you for. That's how they got people in the Soviet Union. A lot of the rules were pretty vague, but everyone knew everything, and they kept very detailed records of what they knew about you. So, like, if they didn't like you, they could find a reason. And the consequence of that, then, is that there really isn't a rule of law. It's basically just if you piss off people in power, they will find something on you, you know? So I think it's very important in situations where a person is very clearly being targeted, or like a backlash is largely being built off of, you know, them digging on a person, unless what they dug for is really, really significant and relevant. I think that by default, you should just ignore it. You or maybe not ignore it. You can address it later. You can take that into account and deal with it properly later, but don't like buy into the broader attack. If you're a political dissident in like 1952 Soviet Union, and then like some KGB agents do a bit of digging, and it turns out that, like, you know, you had an unpaid fine from 7 years ago or some shit, you know, that like everyone has basically, but they found yours, and it's like, oh, 10 years gulag, you know, you don't side with them because it's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, he had a fine, you know, like you don't do that, right? Because you understand that maybe the fine should be dealt with, but in the of Zionist McCarthyites, I think there's a meaningful difference there, a massive number of meaningful differences. Anyway, we're getting tangential.
Yeah, no shit.
1,000 times over that they're full of crap and they're looking to destroy people's lives. So no, let me be very clear. I have no interest in a debate about plagiarism from 20, 30 years ago. So-called. When the first round of plagiarism came up with no plagiarism, none. They were lying, and they're always lying.
The fuck is his problem?
Oh, should we look at?
Is he projecting some personal energy into this? Because she is very.
She fucking hates him.
Let's have a debate whether she jaywalked or not. I bet she crossed several streets without getting proper permission. She might have even once had a party past 10 p.m., might have violated a noise ordinance. Let's engage in, is she guilty of the noise ordinance? I might be guilty of a noise ordinance now. No, hatchet jobs, no interest. You're right, Anna. Even if they found it, they're like, this one doesn't.
Yeah, he's acting like this. A lot of this is sincere. It's not totally performative. His voice wavered a bit there.
Any citation at all.
All right,
Okay.
I'm done. We're wrapping this story up. We're taking a break. We'll come back and hopefully we'll calm down a little bit so we can actually do our jobs
By
appropriately.
we
The
mean
job
Jenks.
appropriately is this story has zero validity.
right.
And do
Shut
not
the fuck up! We're going to a break.
Because some donor who's rich says, no, I'm going to run Harvard. No one's allowed to disagree with my political opinions. Okay, if that's what Harvard is, which apparently that's what Penn is, I'm humiliated that I went to Penn. They fired her over that. Because the donors didn't want her to be honest and tell what the actual policy of the school was on a hypothetical chant that didn't even happen.
Is Cenk trauma posting? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And those same donors, by the way, very, very likely donating to the politicians who voted for genocide of the Palestinian people because their lives don't matter. But we're discussing
Hey, Cenk. Hey, Chunk. They both do it. They both support Israel.
as 18,000 people have been butchered in Gaza. That's a weapon of mass
citations.
distraction.
All right, it's more than citations. I'm sorry that I couldn't give you guys the information.
Well, I kind of wish I
I'm
could have
fucking
heard
better
what
than you.
I think that's enough.
I do have a quick thing.
A quick thing? Let's do a quick
thing.
What else we got?
It's a little quick thing. Hopefully it'll be like the full thing here and not like just like news coverage of them talking about it. But check this out.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
Stalinist!
Oh no. It's Roseanne.
Communists! With a huge helping of Nazi fascists thrown in. Plus, wanting a caliphate. To replace every Christian democracy on earth now.
Christian democracy?
Occupy. Do you know that?
Occupied. I want to see the whole thing. Fuck you.
And that is the truth. And nobody died in the Holocaust either.
Okay, look. I have an issue with them putting this clip in because they were both fucking around at the time. Theo was baiting her and they were both sort of riffing with each other as Theo does. So I have an issue with this.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
It should happen. 6 million Jews should die right now because they cause all the problems in the world, but it never happened.
See, even Theo was shocked by that. Like Theo, it takes a lot for Theo Von to get shocked. And that got him. So yeah. Yeah, it's very much a mix of alcohol, pills, and old. It's very much that. She's been on Kill Tony a couple times. She's just belligerent. Couple podcasts, stuff like that.
President Trump, I just want to say that I'm just all in. I'm just all in, you know. I said, I'm all in, whatever, you know. You just let me know I'm all in because I know if I ain't all in, man, they're going to put my ass in too long. If he loses, I know, you know, that what they're going to do. And I don't really want to go to a re-education camp and have to give all my money away to a bunch of losers that never know how to get a job. I don't care about them. If
Grandma?
we don't
Join
stop
the United States of
these
America, for God's
horrible
sake.
This is
communists,
Joe Biden in a hat and wig.
do you hear me? I'm asking you to hear me.
Hatton Mall. I held a bake sale. A racist bake sale.
Stalinist! Communists! With a huge helping of Nazi fascists thrown in.
You are garbage, okay?
Is this you, Roseanne?
Plus, wanting a caliphate.
She's so weird.
To replace every Christian democracy on earth now occupied. Do you know that?
What? What are you talking about?
What is she talking about?
I just want the truth. We deserve to hear the truth. That's what we want.
And what if you hear the truth and
we
you don't like
care
it?
which party is wrong. We know they're both nothing but crap. They're both on the take.
She's
They're both
unhinged.
stealing us blind.
Hey, look, she's not wrong.
We just want the truth about everything that we fought and died and suffered to protect. We want the
Hitler
truth.
wasn't fucking bad because he was fucking killing Jews. Okay.
Because we deserve it. And we deserve to have an election with paper ballots.
Please clap.
And with proper identification to prove that you are a citizen of this country.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
What a
all
wild-
domestic
what a wild
terrorists.
lady.
That's pretty nuts. She's crazy.
All right, well, there you go.
Yeah. We'll conclude the stream with Roseanne Barr.
Who's better? Who had the more unhinged rant, her or Chunk?
Definitely Chunk. Definitely Chunk.
You're missing it, but Baloney didn't miss it. She understands it perfectly.
Baloney.
Watch.